Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto is able to wield Yamato High School DxD. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Juubi no Shinju and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. In the dead of night, the sound of rapid footsteps rang through the quiet, empty streets as a woman, appearing at around her late 20s with long dark blue hair, is seen running as fast as she could, her sandaled feet patting hard on the brick road. Her breath was heavy, as her wide eyes stared in front of her. She had to get away. She needed to escape. She didn't want to die. Her ears could hear the inhuman growls and roars behind her, making her run even faster. She could hear thumps and cries. Her heart pounded hard against her chest. This wasn't supposed to happen. Her life just went from happy to hell in seconds. Just then, she made a left turn down an alley, only to gasp in horror when she hit a dead end. She turned back to escape, but her heart sank at what was at the entryway. A large creature stood there, its bloodlustful eyes staring at her as she stepped back until her back hit the wall. It looked like a man, though his skin was a dead bluish white, and there were some parts of its skin missing, like it was chewed off. It stood tall at a 6-foot height, with blood splattered on its clothes. Her eyes and body trembled in horror, tears beginning to gather as Monster stood where it was, staring at her with dead eyes. She soon fell to her knees and cried into her hands. She was going to die by this monster's hand. Suddenly, the monster fell to its knees before falling to the cold floor. Behind it stood a man. He looked to be just beginning his early 20s. His skin was a light, tan shade, nearly white chocolate. He had a wild, spiky head of hair that reached down to his shoulders. Its shade was a bright, snow white, with a few streaks of black through it, which had red streaks as well through them. He had 2 pieces of his hair curve upward over his forehead, making them look like horns. His deep amethyst violet eyes stared at the monster's corpse impassively. He wore a long-sleeved dark, crimson-red shirt. Over it was a black vest with belts on the front keeping it closed. Below that, he had long baggy midnight black pants with red lining on the sides, and crimson flames at the ends. He had gray boots, and black fingerless gloves. He wore a long, deep red trench coat with 2 tails that just barely licked the floor. The sleeves were rolled up, showing that his right arm was completely wrapped in bandage with thin chains wrapped around the limb. Around his neck, he had a necklace with a single white crystal. He also had a pair of dark orange headphones around his neck. In his hand, he carried a large violin case. He stared impassively at the corpse, before he raised his gaze and looked at the crying woman. He stepped over the monster's body and walked over to the woman, stopping when he was 10 feet away from her. The woman looked up and saw the man. However, instead of looking grateful, or even hopeful, she continued to cry. "Please! Don't kill me! I beg of you!" the woman cried. The man sighed and rolled his eyes. "Save your breath, demon. I'm not going to fall for your tricks like that man you seduced and killed," he told her. "I took care of all your monster minions. It's just you and me." Like a flip of a coin, the woman's fearful expression vanished, and was replaced with an angry one. Her once calm, yet frightful emerald eyes were replaced with crimson ones, with slitted pupils. Her mouth opened in a slight hiss, revealing her sharp, long fangs. She stood up from the ground, glaring at the white-haired teen. "Who are you? You can't possibly be human if you were able to kill my ghouls. So, who are you, you little shit?" The revealed demon, a vampire, demanded. The teen kept his impassive look as he stared at the vampiress. "My name won't matter since you are about to die. But I will tell you, so you can tell all those other bastards when you go to hell." The demon roared in anger, and flew over the ground toward him. Blinking boredly, he reached behind him with his right arm, just as the vampiress neared. "My name, bang, is Naruto Diabolus, bitch." The now named Naruto stated as the female demon's body snapped backwards. A hole laid on her forehead, as he wide, shocked eyes stared up at the night sky. With a thump, she hit the ground. Naruto put down his gun, the barrel smoking from firing the bullet. He watched as the vampire's body turned to ash and vanished in the wind, sheathing his gun back behind his waist. Naruto reached into his pocket and pulled out a phone. Dialing a number, he waited for the person on the other end to answer. "It's Naruto. Took care of the vampire harassing the town in England. All her minion ghouls are taken care of. I expect my pay to be transferred into my account," he said and hanged up. Pocketing his phone, the white-haired teen turned and left the empty alley, leaving no trace of his presence. The devil may cry at the end of the night, core pride by UV world. Say o yuk sorzo jie jinsei o uka nu no barakabakusu o shiru sor wako ka, uwa remido rain o subit ryuga saa ika ka fumidesa sor wakuda, born into the world, each enjoying his own life, discovering the black box in his head. Is this bliss? The important thing is to surpass your limit line. Shall we go? Take your step, and outdo yourself today. Yappa hibi wa ika senko satsanaka konishai cha ano no sutopinagar o mikawamina mazu mano to mo siza ika z. Here we go. But what should we do with our days? Trying to live flawlessly is a big no-no. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Tadaka no mano ya kajiri mano and iatsuka nerimu no osatsukura no werakai mo seiza osatsuki to shite kitakirai de urasenakata ano otonatachi to onaji jan kayo. If I try to suppress my heart, which is burning hot about things that are unobtainable or constrained, how am I different from those adults, whom I have come to despise and will never forgive for their constant attempt to pin me down blindly without even understanding why? Do shitat kanawana eserigoto dero gamuno moya sahai wa dare nimo kizia shinalora kara furakura wa im jie kono mi o narashi furia manaka to mameda cases wa shurnai kono, mun no hai so jie puredo. No matter what I do, it'll probably forever remain a pipe dream that will never come true, but the fire burning in my heart cannot be doused by anyone. Even if the black rain falling from the sky drenches me completely and doesn't stop, I will never allow the fire in my heart to be extinguished. That is my pride. Yohidori and I furidashida aim yosa iju and I nakama wa atsamadagai no hibi yashurai no hanashir dud sukanat naguriai and I nata. It started pouring, as predicted. A lot more buddies gathered around than I had expected. While talking about one another's days and futures, we became impassioned and started a fist fight. Jugo no koro mo fuan kara no geru unayanaji unakoto de naguriata koto omodashidiyami jie warida sakara kawatnai na tet or mo fukadashida nada. Thinking back about how we were also fistfighting the same way back when we were only 15. As a means to quell our anxiety and uneasiness, you laughed and said, "You haven't changed a bit," so I ended up bursting into laughter as well. So yat eg had fun bad akaitna kuchijikan no nagar mo kao kanera hunta and I nagura beki I wasana jiban deratada I am a wamakata kunai jiban and I makanai piredo. If we don't stubbornly stand our ground like this, even the flow of time will become a scary thing. The only true opponent whom I should hit is really my prideful self, but still, I don't want to lose right now. I have pride not to lose to myself. Satapanagar omikawamina mazumano to mo seiza ikazi here we go Satapanagar omikawamina mazumano to mo seiza ikazi here we go. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Do shitat yapa hitori no yor wajiban no koto saemo wakarana kanarasana or to wakario to shite kura kimi gairu naramato tsuya kanararu. No matter what I do, when I'm alone at night, I become even unable to understand myself. When you're with me, and we try to understand each other, then I'll be able to become stronger. Mao do natat tu kakawarukatat ishinamanaguri de marai o keek yaradishatat karanai unmiai detu iwarit mameda or wakawarera jiban de keek mizeru. I don't care how things turn out, and I don't care if I'll look uncool. I will desperately try to change my future. Even if I'm told that my destiny is immutable, no matter what I do, I myself can still change, and I will prove to you that I can change myself. Koregie so puredo sorzo no basho da. That's right, pride, each in its own place. Madamada kiruna kokoro no hai omada wajrudakunai mu no atsusa omadamada kiruna kokoro no hai omadamada ikarazo. Don't perish yet. The fire in my heart. I don't want to forget yet. The heat in my chest. Don't perish yet. The fire in my heart. I can still keep going. So here I go. Chapter 1. And the gates of hell open. Naruto took a bite of his hot dog as he walked through the full streets of his new hometown. It's been a few days since he killed that vampire in England. After resting at his apartment, he got a call from a friend of his, telling him about his next assignment. Fuck man. Couldn't he have a vacation? He could just see that smirk on that bastard's face. Anyway, he thought as he took out sheet of paper from his pocket. Head to Ko, Japan. Set up base of operation. You are to stay there until further notice. Keep low profile. P.S. Don't cause too much trouble. I won't bail you out again if you get sent to jail. His eyebrow twitched as he stared at the chibi drawing of the man as he gave AV sign. Bastard. The white-haired teen though as he sighed and pocketed the letter. Putting the last piece of bread in his mouth, he continued walking toward his destination. He got one of his contacts to station an abandoned building and bought it for him. It would serve as a temporary home until he had some workers build a larger one at the outskirts of the city. As he walked, he spotted teens, some around his age, wearing uniforms. School. Never again. After the last school he got kicked out of, he did all he could to never go back. Besides, if he had to sit in a desk for 2 hours, listening to boring lectures, he was going to kill someone. Then again, it has been a while since he got acquainted with modern people of his generation. His last home had been a ruined city in South America, and he missed hanging around with friends. No, he thought as he shook his head. It was too dangerous to be around humans. He was already in deep end with the Catholic Church, as they did everything they could to keep an eye on him. Like I'm some kind of rabid dog they need to watch, then kill the very moment I bite someone. He though angrily. He wasn't some puppy for them to order around. He could do whatever the hell he wanted. Sighing, he shook those thoughts away as he made it at the building he was staying at. It was 2 stories, looked like it was about to fall apart at any moment, and had a dark, gloomy aura around it that would scare away any weak-willed humans. Perfect. Naruto thought as he entered through the double-door entrance. Inside, he saw his boxes already placed around the spacious area. He saw 2 doors at the back on both sides of the desk, and wide windows at the sides, along with 2 ceiling fans, and a chandelier at the center. Nice. He walked toward a rectangular box sitting on the desk. He opened it, and carefully took out what was inside. It was a neon sign, with the name of his business of demon hunting. The name that shocked terror and fear into all fiends that heard it. Devil May Cry. A month later, Naruto leaned back on his chair with a sigh, his feet placed on his desk as he placed a notebook on it. Over the month, as he modeled, fixed, cleaned, disinfected, and decorated his new place, he took the time to get acquainted with the town. Immediately, he noticed the supernatural energy in the air. He investigated, and found out that the town housed 2 of the 4 great factions. More specifically demons, specifically devil-raced, and fallen angels. He tracked the devils to a school to the east side of the city. A co-academy. He didn't know at what level they were, or if they were a threat, as he didn't want to be discovered. His holy locks can only seal so much of his energy before someone senses it. He decided to keep watch on them for the time being. Besides them, he found out that fallen angels had taken control of an abandoned church in the center of town. Like the devils, he'll watch them. If any of the yokai do any harm to the humans, he'll strike. Other than that, he discovered that low-rank kaiju were also spotted around the town, though mostly at night. Luckily, he took care of them easily before they could hurt humans. Why is it that Japan always finds herself at the center of supernatural attacks? The only other places that come close to shit like this are New York and California. Troublesome. He took note of every supernatural event that occurs during the month, but other than the lower demons, nothing much happened. He trained, slayed monsters, hit the club, had sex, read the books he had, and watched over the humans. He finished decorating his place with furniture he bought, fixed it up, gave it a new paint job, and cleaning it. Scratching the back of his neck where he felt an itch, he stood up from his chair. He was hungry, and low on food. He would need to buy more. Grabbing his large violin case he had leaning on the desk beside him, he placed it on his back and made his way out of the shop. Hanging above the entrance was the sign for all to see. Entering the busy street, he maneuvered his way through the crowd as he searched for a nice place to eat. He felt in the mood for pizza. As he passed a young couple, he froze in step as he sensed something. Holy energy, tainted holy energy. Glancing over his shoulder, his eyes followed a young girl with long, raven hair as she pulled a brunette male along. He narrowed his eyes at her as the two vanished into the crowd. Looking down, he nodded. Unseen by the surrounding populace, his shadow rippled a bit, before snapping off him and snaked across the ground after the couple. He knew the boy was a human, however he sensed something within him. A sacred gear. Female fallen angel human teen with sacred gear equals trouble. As his shadow followed them and watched out for trouble, Naruto made his way for a place to eat. Luckily, after 10 minutes of searching, he finally found a pizza parlor. After eating nearly a half-dozen boxes of multi-topping pizzas, he paid and left, rubbing his full stomach with a satisfied burp. Looking down at his watch, he saw it was 7:45 p.m. The sun was setting and the streets were emptying. Just then, he felt a pulse at the back of his head, a signal from his shadow. Sking, he looked around to make sure no one was watching, before he vanished in a blur. Seconds later, he appeared at the park of the town. Looking around, he spotted his shadow as it made its way toward him and merged back with his body. Hiding behind a tree, Naruto looked over and saw the couple near a fountain. Narrowing his eyes, he made sure to keep his energy hidden, while also pulsing it slightly and undetectable to search for any more hidden fallen angels. While he didn't sense any more around, he could feel a slight demonic energy coming from the teen's pocket. He could also sense the presence of another devil nearby. Moving his eyes, he located the presence behind a tree away from him. A devil and a fallen angel after a single human. I don't get paid enough for this shit. Alright, need a plan? If I'm fast enough, I can knock the angel away and get the kid out of here while she and the devil are in their shock states. Good thing I packed some smoke bombs before I left. He waited patiently as two interacted. He watched closely as he tensed his body. Say, Issei-kun, the girl stated shyly. The teen, Issei, blinked in confusion. Huh, to commemorate our first date, would you listen to my wish? She asked, placing her hands behind her as he tilted her body forward slightly. Her breast giggled a bit, immediately making his eyes move to them. Issei was frozen, hope and anxiousness spreading through him as the girl moved closer to him. What is it? What's your wish? The girl loved her head, her hair covering her face, before she looked up. Gone was the innocent expression, replaced with a look of cold amusement, a smirk crossing her lips. Could you die for me? Now, as Issei stood shocked and confused at what he heard, he didn't see the long spear of light appear on Yuma's hand as she made to thrust it at him. However, before she could impale him, she was suddenly kicked in the side of her face by booted feet. She gave a shout of surprise as she flew away from Issei and skidded across the ground. Issei snapped out of his shook as Naruto landed in front of him. You okay, kid? He asked as he stared at an angry Yuma as she got up, glaring at him. Issei blinked before shaking his head. He shouted at seeing his girlfriend get kicked by a strange man. He then glared hatefully at the white-haired teen and got in his face. What the hell, man? Why the hell did you do that for? Don't you know that you're not supposed to hit girls? Naruto looked at him like he was crazy. Didn't the idiot see the fallen about to turn him into a shish kebab? Is that any way to treat the person who saved you? She was about to fucking kill you. He replied as he pointed at the female as she stood up. I don't know who you are, but if you are so eager to die, so be it. The two males watched as her clothes were shredded as her body grew older, more mature. As he watched, Naruto tensed his body. Thanks to the idiot, he didn't take the opportunity to escape with said idiot and lost his chance. Not that it worried him. He could easily handle the fallen angel, and perhaps the devil, and still keep his identity a secret. He smirked and brushed the tip of his nose. You've got a jacked up notion of fair play, lady. And it's beginning to piss me off. Meanwhile, Issei only had one thing to say as he looked upon the naked breasts. I've finally seen some raw breasts, he though happily, ignoring the pitch black wings that appeared out of Yuma's back. Naruto's eye twitched when he heard what the teen said. Great, I saved a pervert who ignores everything but breasts. Fuck me. When the transformation finished, the fallen angel, now wearing a sort of dominatrix outfit, stood in front of the fountain, smirking at them. I had fun, Issei-kun, to have gone on a date with an innocent little child like you. But I'm afraid you're going to have to die now. You as well, human. You'll regret playing hero, she said as she created another light spear. Why Yuma-chan? A shocked, and now scared Issei stuttered as Naruto got in front of him, reaching his hands behind him after he set his case down. Sorry, birdie. But the kid's not dying today, Naruto said as he whipped his arms out and aimed 2 guns at her. He smirked devilishly as he looked at the one on the right. It was a dark, black M1911 style handgun. The grips were a stylized twisted design with sharp points, and on the side was an image of a beautiful woman with long black hair and snow-pale skin, and 2 sets of red demonic wings, 2 coming out of her back that wrapped protectively around her, and 2 out of the sides of her head. M1911 automatic caliber pistol, 210 mm of length, with a weight of 16 kilograms, black gunmetal construction .45 ACP round of normal human metal and Yoki energy. 127 mm barrel, ammunition of 13 mm, armor-piercing silver bullets. Casing of blessed Macedonian silver and tipped with a hollow point, containing explosive charge of pre-blessed mercury. Lilith. He then looked at the one on the right. This one looked similar to Lilith, except it was silver, and had a picture of a beautiful woman with long, bright blonde hair, light mocha skin, wearing gold armor. Wrapped around her were 4 pure white angel wings. Short recoil action, 30 centimeters length, weight of 6 kilograms unloaded, 7.454 Kasul, holy water blessed, silver explosive bullet cartridges in standard detachable box, single stack, .45 caliber magazine. Silver gunmetal plating, holy metal, I feel. He smirked at the cautious fallen angel. His eyes seemed to glow red in the dark as he crossed his left arm holding Lilith over his right arm, holding it close to his face while he aimed Iafeel at her. You ready to dance with my girls, little Tweety bird? Yuma scoffed as she readied her light spear. Get ready to die, human! She then threw the spear at blinking speed at the two. While Issei wasn't able to track its speed, Naruto was used to such fast weapons and attacks, that he grabbed Issei and jumped out of the way. While in the air, he fired 3 shots from Iafeel at her. Yuma easily dodged the shots, however. She didn't see the 4th one hiding behind the 3rd and paid for it by a cut on her cheek. While normally, such a mark wouldn't concern her, he grunted in pain as she felt the scratch begin to burn and the skin around it blister. She then remembered what he said about holy water-blessed bullets, making her curse. She growled in anger as Naruto landed. He put Issei down and looked at him. You need to hide. I can't protect you and fight her at the same time. What the hell is going on? Why is Yuma-chan dressed like that? Why is she trying to kill me? Issei questioned. He was scared and confused out of his mind. There's no time. Get out of here. Naruto ordered as he pushed him away. He turned back, just as Yuma charged at him. Narrowing his eyes, he fired a storm of bullets simultaneously from both guns. Yuma used her wings to maneuver over and through the storm, occasionally using her light spear to deflect bullets. Sking, Naruto jumped into the air and over her, continuing to fire at her. Yuma smirked as she saw he was vulnerable and flew up at him, dodging bullets. When she got close, she stabbed forward with her spear to impale him. Clash! Yuma's eyes widened when her spear clashed with a sword that appeared out of nowhere. It looked like a large broadsword, a long, heavy double-edged blade with a botch on both sides near the tip. The pommel was a spiked crown, and a skeletal horn skull design on each side leading to the rib cage where the blade emerged. Naruto smirked as his blade grinded against her spear. Let's dance, rebellion. With a grunt, he pushed her back before he descended down to the ground. Landing, he placed his guns in their holster on his back waist. He then gripped his blade as he looked up at the floating fallen angel. Shooting her a grin, he leaned his blade against his shoulder and gave her the come-get-some 2-finger gesture. Glaring at the annoying human, Yuma swooped down at him, creating 2 spears in her hands. Naruto met her charge and jumped at her. The two collided their weapons, and struggled to push the other. While surprised that a human was able to stay alive so long after fighting her, she would not allow him to mock her. Flapping her wings, it gave her the extra strength to launch him back. Taking the chance of his vulnerability, she threw her spear after him. As Naruto came closer to the ground, He prepared to flip himself upright, when he saw the light spear heading his way. He quickly moved Rebellion in front of him, and blocked the energy weapon as it clashed the flat side of the blade. The impact increased his fall speed, so when he impacted the ground, it created a large crater. Yuma calmly waited for the smoke to clear and show the dead humans so she could continue with her mission of killing Issei. When the smoke did clear, however, she gasped in shock when Naruto was seen calmly standing up. It was as if he was only hit by a soft ball as he dusted his coat off. "Is that the best you've got?" he called out at her. She gritted her teeth and glared at him for the insult. "Wish I could keep playing, Tweety Bird, but I've got a schedule to keep." He suddenly vanished from her view, making her gasp. A shadow appeared over her, making her look up. She gasped when she saw Naruto above her. Rebellion pulled back. Million stab. In a blur, his arm shot out and stabbed at her repeatedly. She cried out in pain as his body was assaulted by a storm of million stabs per second. Cuts appeared all over her, before with a final stab, she was launched down at the ground. She cried out as she impacted the ground hard, while Naruto landed near her. He looked at her impassively as she tried to get up, but her body was in too much pain to move. Seeing that she was finished, he placed Rebellion on his back, where it stuck to him. He wasn't going to kill her. He promised himself that he wouldn't be a part of the war between the four factions. He wasn't going to get himself caught in something that had nothing to do with him. He killed her, and the other fallen angels would come after him like a pack of bloodthirsty hounds. "Yuma-chan." He turned his head and saw Issei ran toward them. He rolled his eyes and sighed. The woman tried to fucking kill him, and he still cared about her. This guy's an idiot among idiots. Suddenly he saw movement out of the corner of his eye and gasped when Yuma gained enough strength to create a light spear and threw it at the approaching Issei. Naruto cursed and moved to stop the spear, when he gasped and coughed blood as another spear stabbed through him. Yuma chuckled weakly as she tried to get up. "Nice try, human, this is the end for you," she said with a smirk. She looked at the dying Issei, and chuckled. "Sorry, since you're a potential risk, I had to take care of you sooner or later. If you want to place blame, curse the gods you put the sacred relic within your body." She then vanished in a swirl of wind and black feathers. Naruto cursed as he stumbled on his feet. He saw Issei fall back as the spear in him vanished, leaving a large hole in his chest. Gritting his teeth, the white-haired teen raised his right hand and grabbed the spear. Gritting his teeth, he yanked the weapon out of him. His bandaged arm suddenly began to glow a light blue, and the spear suddenly vanished as the glow died down. Naruto took deep breaths as the large hole on him suddenly began to heal rapidly. Muscle biomass and cells grew in rapid speed, as skin grew in accelerated growth. Within seconds the hole was gone, leaving unblemished pale skin. "Damn bitch. Not only gave me a cheap shot, but she fucking ruined my clothes." Scowling, he shook his head and made his way toward the dying brunette. "Damn idiot. I told you to stay away," he said as he knelt down next to him. Issei coughed up blood. Naruto sighed. He knew he could resurrect the kid, but the question was, should he? If he did revive him, it would mean bringing him into a world of death and war. The human was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Sure, he did the resurrection before, but it was only because the others wanted and had a reason to continue fighting. This kid, he was just average. Forget the sacred gear, he had no choice in having such a thing. He had no reason to be a part of such a world, so why give him such a burden? Issei coughed blood as he shakily raised his right arm in front of him. He stared at the blood-covered hand. He was going to die. He knew it. But he didn't want to die. He wanted to make his dream come true, and create his own harem. He wanted to experience and touch the joy of breasts. He didn't want to die. He wanted to live, for his dream, for his family, for BRESDS. Suddenly, a glow came from his pocket. Naruto saw it, and raised a brow as a sheet of paper flew out and landed near them. A bright glow appeared as a circular design appeared on the ground. Naruto narrowed his eyes and reached for one of his guns as he felt the familiar energy coming from Seal. Devil energy, a summoning seal. He thought, as in a flash, a gorgeous woman perhaps a few years younger than him, appeared. If the situation wasn't so tense, he could have whistled at her impressive bust and figure. Those doggies looked like Lodi cups. His attention was quickly caught on her long, silky crimson-red hair as it waved in the night breeze. Her silky, white skin seemed to glow as the light of the moon shined down on her. He also noticed she wore the female uniform of Ko Academy. Damn, what a babe! He then shook his head as he remembered that this woman was a devil. He quickly stood up, and aimed Iafil at her as he stood protectively in front of Issei. "Hold it right there, hot stuff. Who are you?" he demanded as the female devil glanced at the dying brunette, before looking at the white-haired demon hunter. Rias's POV. For the past week, Rias Gremory, heiress of the Gremory clan of the underworld, had kept her eyes out for suitable human to add to her peerage. Only a handful fit her liking, so she focused on them. Out of the one suitable, only one Issei Hayate seemed like the likely candidate. From what her queen, Akino, sensed, Issei had a sacred gear inside him. She didn't know how strong it was, but when she saw a disguised fallen angel approach him, she knew it had to be something for those ravens to target him. When he was taken on his date with the F.A who calls herself Yuma, she had her familiar disguise itself and hand Issei a summoned flyer. From there, all she had to do was wait for Issei's desire to call one of her peerage members. Imagine her surprise when she herself was called. Apparently, the human's desire was powerful enough to call the king. When she got there, she was once more surprised when she saw not only Issei, but a man with spiky snow-white hair next to the body of Issei. She tensed herself. Was this man a fallen angel, or a stray devil? She sensed out his energy, and blinked when she didn't see any tainted holy energy, or yoki within him. Her blue-green eyes trailed down, and saw the hole in his clothes. He was stabbed, likely by a light spear. Could he have a sacred gear in him? She could sense a slight energy coming from his bandaged arm, but she didn't know what it was. If she was far from him, she wouldn't even detect it, as it was too small to notice. Even from this distance, she could barely sense it. She blinked as the strange man moved in front of Issei, and leveled a gun at her. Please. Like a mortal weapon could kill or even harm a full-blooded devil. Hold it right there, hot stuff. Who are you? He asked her. Rias smirked at the man. Question is, who are you? She herself asked. Naruto scared, aiming his gun at her head. I'm the man who's going to blow your fucking brain if you don't answer my question. He was not in the mood for games. A human got hurt by a raven-winged bitch, his clothes got ruined a bit, and said bitch escaped from him. While he said he wasn't going to kill her, he figured he could interrogate her to see why there were so many fallen angels in the town. Rias pouted in false hurt. Such language aimed at a lady. But I supposed I could answer you. She gave him a slight bow, her large breasts bouncing. Rias Gremory, pleasure to meet you. Naruto rose a brow. Gremory? Where have I heard that name before, he muttered, raking his brain around. After a second, he snapped his fingers with his free hand. Wait. Gremory? As in Duke Gremory? One of the 72 demons of the Ars Goetia? This time, Rias raised her brow, surprised that a human, a young generation one at that, knew about the 72 pillars of the underworld. Oh, you know about the powerful clans of the underworld? Naruto narrowed his eyes at her, his arm tensing to get ready to shoot if necessary. The 72 demons of Ars Goetia, also known as the 72 pillars of the underworld. 72 demon generals given birth by Satan, and govern Makia alongside its rulers. Duke Gremory, founder of the Gremory clan of the underworld. In his day, he governed 26 legions of demons. He was gifted with the power of premonition and was able to tell things past, present, and future. He talked about many hidden treasures lost through time and hidden in the earth. He also would charm after the love of women, young and old, but had a more liking toward maidens and virgins. He would at times take the form of a beautiful woman with the crown of a duchess around her waist riding a camel in order to trick greedy men and suck out their life force. He told the story he read about when he lived in a church during his childhood. Rias blinked in surprise. The only ones who still know about that story were her parents, her older brother, and herself as the heiress. She thought all manuscripts of past demons were either lost or destroyed. Impressive. I would ask how you know about that, but there is no time, as that human behind you is dying and I must revive him, she said, gesturing toward the still Issei. Naruto glanced at the teen, before glaring at Rias. Why would I let you do that? I know all about you devils and your evil pieces, he said, shocking Rias. I'm not about to let you drag an innocent human into your war against the other 3 factions. Rias was shocked and suspicious as how a human knew about the faction war and evil peace system. Just who was this man? Still, she need to revive Issei quickly, or his souls would leave the mortal plane and the sacred gear was lost. Looking at Naruto straight in the eye, she rose her yoki high enough so to scare him. Issei Hayate summoned me by his desire to live. I will revive him, as is what I was called for. So stand aside. However, Naruto didn't move as he shrugged the killer intent off easily. He was used to facing higher, more potent intents from his line of work. He kept his glare leveled at her, not moving an inch from her stare. Just then, he heard Issei cough up blood. He glanced at him over his shoulder, and watched as the brunette struggled to fully open his eyes. He tried to say something, but kept choking on his blood. Rias-senpai. Violet eyes stared at faint light brown. He could see a faint will to live. Damn it. All right, you can revive him, but if any harm comes to him because of you, he told her, letting the threat hang. Rias narrowed her eyes at him, before nodding. While the threat wouldn't matter much to her, the way his eyes glowed red sent a shiver up her spine. He shall be taken care of. Everyone in my peerage are like family. So he will be fine. Naruto nodded before he sheathed his gun. He was taking a risk, but as long as he kept an eye on the kid and this devil, everything should be okay. Faces in the crowd will smile again and the devil may cry at the end of the night. Blinking, Naruto reaching into his pocket and took out his phone. Answering it, he placed it against his ear. What is it? Alright, I'll be right there, he replied. Ending the call, he turned to Issei's body and knelt next to it. Kid, if you can hear me, I just want to say that I'm sorry it had to be this way. I should have gotten you to safety. But I'll make it up to you. I promise to make that bitch pay, and Naruto never goes back on a promise. I'll see you soon, kid. He discreetly placed something in Issei's pocket before he stood up. Looking at Rias, he gave her a glare, saying, I'm watching you. Rias nodded, and Naruto moved to leave the park. You're not human, are you? Naruto stopped and turned around to face the female devil. He smirked at her and shrugged. Who knows? I'm not even sure myself. You never told me your name. She told him, making him nod. He gave her a devilish grin, making her cheeks dust pink, and a two-finger salute. Naruto. Naruto Diabolus. You're Rias Gremory, right? Be seeing you around, babe. He then suddenly vanished in a swirl of wind, leaving Rias and the dying Issei in the park. Naruto, huh? Interesting man. Rias muttered to herself, before she got started on reviving Issei. As she turned her attention to him, she spotted something on the ground. Picking it up, she gasped when she saw a glowing, red, gold-lined pawn piece. Is this a mutation piece? She thought frantically, before she saw a note on the ground. Grabbing it, she read, a little welcoming present for my new neighbor. I sense the power in the sacred gear in the gaki. You'll probably need this. Don't ask how I got it. Let's just say I know people, and leave it at that. Catch ya around, princess. P.S. Keep a better watch out to the human in town. I won't always be there to keep them safe. At the bottom was a chibi Naruto giving her a peace sign with a wink. Rias frowned. Just who is this man? How did he have a mutation piece? Why give it to her? So many questions and no answers. It was giving her a headache. In the meantime, she'll have to keep an eye on him. Putting the note in her shirt, she went to resurrect Issei with the new piece. If the man was right, while suspicious, she'll be getting a powerful new pawn, and she'll still have 8 pawn pieces, so it was a win-win for her. The next day, 8:45 a.m., groaning, an arm shot out from beneath the soft covers and slammed down on the annoying alarm blaring from the clock next to the bed. Grunting at having his peaceful sleep, the very few he's gotten in the past year, ruined by the morning time, the spiky, white-haired teen rose up from his dark red pillow as black covers slid down his naked back. Blinking, he looked over at the time displayed on the alarm. Seeing what time it was, he let out another groan as he pushed himself up. Though he cringed as his head suffered a rough pounding like a bitch. Damn raven bitch! I always get such a hangover from the existence removal spell. Standing up from his bed, he maneuvered himself through the room, not caring about the cold morning air brushing against his naked form. As he made his way into the bathroom, he reached over and grabbed his toothbrush from his counter. After brushing his teeth and taking a nice, hot shower, he got dressed in black t-shirt and dark green cargo pants. He left his room and moved down the stairs to the small kitchen. He made himself a plate of eggs, bacon, small bowl of rice, some grilled fish, and a cup of coffee. After eating, he washed the dishes and went to the work area/living room, where his desk was at. Unlocking the front door and flipping the sign to open, he sat down on his chair. He thought on what happened last. A kid was on a date with a disguised fallen angel. Said angel was able to kill the kid when he stepped in. The brat ruined his chance to get the two away, and had to fight the bitch. He was able to take her by surprise and injured her. Then the idiot brat came out of his hiding spot when he told him to get away, and distracted him. The dominatrix bitch took the chance to not only stab him with her light spear, but the kid as well. She then escaped. He then met a devil who turned out to be from the Gremory family, one of the powerful and influential clans in the underworld. He then gave the dying kid over to her, because he had no choice. Something tells me I'll regret that decision in the future. And all this because the kid had a sacred gear. Sacred gear. Opening the top drawer, he pulled out a thick black journal. Opening it, he cycled through it. This was a notebook he got from an old friend of his. It explained the different types and kinds of sacred gears. Sacred gear were powerful artifacts created by the biblical God. They were given to humans to protect themselves during the Heaven-Hell War during the time the earth was still young and growing. While the forces of light and darkness battled one another, human got caught in the middle. To protect them, God gave human powerful tools to fight against the demons. Since then, God allowed humans to keep the sacred gear. Stupid move in Naruto's opinion. And sacred gears had either been passed down, or founded by human. Some historical figures even became famous because of the artifacts, such as King Arthur, Queen Victoria, Alexander the Great, even George Washington. Soon, sacred gears began to appear randomly in humans throughout time, in men, women, children. Anyone could have a sacred gear in them, and they wouldn't even know it. However, what God didn't know is that he started a revolution. Demons saw the power of sacred gear, and wanted something to give them an edge as well. Their scientists worked hard to come up with something equal to them. But after many failed attempts, they were about to give up. However, one day, a devil was able to steal a sacred gear and allowed the scientists to study them. They found out that they could not use S.G as it contained holy energy, and it could kill them. But they didn't give up. After decades of studies, they hit a break. If they could not use sacred gears, they would create their own. It was discovered that sacred gears were actually artifacts that contained souls of holy beings, such as angels. So what would happen if they used the demon soul? After countless experiments, and many losses to their race, they had done it. They were able to find a way to turn a demon's soul into a weapon. They named the weapons devil arms. With the devil arms, they were able to hit heaven hard. For years, the war was at a stalemate. But more on that later. Devil arms greatly helped demons in increasing their power. Unfortunately, as the Second H2W, Second Heaven-Hell War, or the Second Great War, came about, devil arms had become lost, along with the notes on how to create them. Understandably, the fallen angels were jealous that they didn't have something powerful to help them survive. So they targeted Sacred Gear's wielders. If they could not have them, then they would not let humans have them either, but I thought it had been agreed on and forbidden to attack human. Why would they risk the chance of starting a war for Sacred Gears? I'll need to call Azazel GG when I get the chance. Though I wonder what Sacred Gear the kid had for them to try and kill him? And on that note, wonder how the kid is anyway? Earlier, Hyde residence. Beep, beep, asterisk if you don't get up, I'll kill you. I'm going to rip you apart if you don't wake up, asterisk B, groaning, a hand rose up and shot the digital anime girl alarm. Issei lifted his head up from his pillow, glaring at the alarm. I had some weird dreams thanks to this. Yuma-chan turning into a sexy winged woman in a sexy outfit, and some weird white-haired man fighting her. Then me dying? I've to stop watching hentai or anime before bed. Yawning, he sat up from his bed. Though he held his head in slight pain, before he shook it off. However, he blinked as he felt something different. He didn't know why, but he felt more tired than he ever felt before. His body felt heavy, and his balance was a bit off. He nearly fell down on his feet as he tried to get up. After a few seconds, he was finally about to get off his bed, though it took some effort. He went through his routine of getting ready for school, though it was a bit difficult with your body feeling like it had weight on it. While he did that, he tried to recall what happened last night. He was on his date with Yuma, but when they stopped at a fountain at the park, everything became misty after that. When he went down to the kitchen, he greeted his parents. As they sat down to eat, he asked them how he got home last night from his date. Much to his confusion, they were surprised when he told them he was on a date. He recalled telling them about it few days ago. I told you, I went out with Yuma-chan. You guys met her. However, they just looked confused, saying he arrived from school yesterday and spent the rest of the day in his room. His dad joked that he dreamed it all, but it wasn't a dream. Was it? He then gave his goodbyes left for school. He grunted as the sun blazed down on him hard, and he could barely see through the harsh light. Shielding his eyes, he made his way towards school. As he walked the streets, he thought about yesterday. Was it really a dream? He thought. Yuma-chan. Issei ran out from the tree he hid behind and ran toward the fallen angel who laid on the ground, with the man in the red trench coat who put his long blade on his back. The man turned to him in surprise, while Yuma smirked evilly and threw a light spear at Issei. Issei's eyes widened at that, while the man tried to get to him, but cried in pain as another spear stabbed through him. Issei's world crawled to a snail pace as the spear came closer and closer to him. He tried to move out of the way, but it was too late as the spear pierced through his chest. Last thing he knew was untold pain spreading through his body as he coughed up blood. He raised his hand to his chest. Did that really happen? Did he really die? But he was still alive. If it did happen, how was he alive? Sighing, he placed his hands inside his pockets. However, he blinked and pulled out his left hand as he felt something in this pocket. It looked like a black business card. He looked at the red words on the front. Devil May Cry, 13th Katashi Avenue. Kid, if you can hear me, I just want to say that I'm sorry it had to be this way. I should have gotten you to safety. But I'll make it up to you. I promise to make that bitch pay, and Naruto never goes back on a promise. I'll see you soon, kid. Issei blinked as he recalled the words the strange man spoke to him. So, it wasn't a dream. Then what the hell was that last night? With Yuma-chan. That redcoat man, and I think I saw Rias-senpai. After school, I'll go see that man at this place, and get some answers. When he got to Ku Academy, he met up with his best friends, Matsuda and Murahama. The three of them were the most perverted students in the academy. To all the students, they were known as the perverted trio. You guys seriously don't remember about Yuma-chan? Issei asked his friends. He had told them about his date yesterday, but they told him that they never heard of Yuma. We have no idea. How many times do we have to repeat it? Matsuda said as he leaned against the wall. The three were hanging out at the staircase as students passed them. You haven't introduced us to such a girl, Murahama replied as he sat on the steps. And let me say that you getting a girlfriend is as likely as you getting hit by a meteorite. Come on, Issei said, getting frustrated that not only his parents not remembering Yuma, but now his friends. I had her email address in my cell phone as well. He took out his phone and scrolled to find it. However, he blinked in shock when he wasn't able to find it. It's not here. He muttered as he tried to find it. Nothing. Neither her number nor her address is here. Not even the text messages. How could that be? Issei snapped out of his shook as Naruto landed in front of him. You okay, kid? He asked as he stared at an angry Yuma as she got up, glaring at him. Issei blinked and took out the card he found this morning. This is getting more and more confusing. I need to find that man. Suddenly, his head shot up as he felt someone watching him. He looked up at the stairs and met with blue-green eyes watching him. Rias-senpai. Matsuda called in surprise, following Issei's gaze. The female students squealed in awe at her appearance. She is beautiful, not matter how you look at her. Issei blushed as Rias walked down the steps. As she passed him, he gasped. It felt like something in his body sent currents of electricity through his organs and skin. You called me? If you're going to die anyway, I'll take your life myself. From now on, you will live for my sake, Rias stated as she stood over his dead body, a magical circle under him. She was there. At the park. He thought to himself, she sure is a beauty. Motohama stated as the three looked after her, as she left. She is absolutely perfect when you see her up close. Matsuda grinned and elbowed Issei. You were thinking about lewd stuff, weren't you? He said as Issei stood silent, staring at the way Rias went. Issei shot him a small glare. Don't bunch me with the likes of you. But Matsuda waved him off. Yeah. Come to my house today. Let's watch Kiz's collection together. Erotic bonsai. He yelled out at the end, making females glare at him as they passed by. I hate men, such pervs. The only things they think about are dirty things. Matsuda coughed in his hand and whispered. I mean, I have acquired Ember's new work as well. However, Issei shook his head. I need to do something after school, so I can't come. Oh, come on man, don't you want to watch hentai with us? But Issei still declined. Can't sorry. He told them as he looked down on the black card. After school, Issei sighed as he walked the streets, looking left and right for his target. The card said it was here somewhere. The sun was just beginning to set as he looked for the location. He had been looking for nearly an hour now, with no results. He was just about to give up and go home, when a strong breeze hit him. He shielded his face, but the card flew out of his hand. Giving a shout of surprise, he ran to grab it. When he did, he looked up and gasped when he found himself in front of a small, two-story building. It looked like a normal brick building, with some dry paint here and there. There was a neon sign hanging above the doors. Devil May Cry. He found it. The man that saved him yesterday just has to be inside. Taking a deep breath to calm his nerves, he climbed the stairs and pushed the doors open and entered. Immediately, his ears heard the sound of jazz music. The area was spacious, with rough square-shaped room with stair on the back leading to the second floor. It looked like an office as there was a desk in the back. On the right side of the room, there was what could be the living area with a large comfort sofa, a large flat-screen TV in front of it, loudspeakers, and a pool table. On the left side, there were multiple bookshelves filled with books, an antique jukebox on the corner, a refrigerator, there was even a soda fountain. In the other corner were a set of drums, a dartboard, a guitar stand, and a trash can. This is the coolest place ever. As he made his way inside, he saw, to his nervousness, many skulls in deformed states hanging on the wall behind the desk. God, I hope those things are fake, he thought, before cringing as a headache suddenly hit his head. Shaking his head, he neared the desk. He looked around for anyone. He saw a bell on the desk, and rang it twice. Hello? It was silent for a while, before the door next to the desk opened, and someone come out. Issei gasped when he saw the white-haired man from yesterday as he wiped his head with the towel. He was only wearing his dark green pants, as he likely just got out of the shower. Yeah, who is it? The man asked as he dried his hair before placing it around his neck. He spotted Issei and blinked. Can I help you? The brunette teen stuttered as he pointed a finger at him. Why you? It's you. Yeah, me. Question is, who are you? The older man asked as he sat on his chair and placed his arms behind his head and his feet on top of the desk. I am Issei Hayada. We meet yesterday when Yuma-chan killed me, he muttered the end, but Naruto heard him. He cupped his chin in thought. Yuma? Yuma, let me guess. About ya tall, long dark hair, large knockers that you want to squeeze, and ass nice and juicy, wearing dominatrix clothing, has large black wings coming out of her back, and likes to stab people with a glowing spear of light? Issei nodded rapidly. Yeah. That's her. I knew she was real, Naruto nodded. So you remember? So I guess you recall what happened, right? What happened? You mean, Issei asked as he subconsciously rubbed his chest. He could just feel the large hole from yesterday where he was pierced through. Naruto nodded. Yup. Congratulations, kid. You got killed by your girlfriend and died, he stated with a sarcastic clap. Issei just stood there with a shocked expression. Chapter 2, Humanity is Overrated. Issei blinked at the question, confused on it. He thought for a minute and shrugged. You mean like God, heaven, and angels? He asked. Naruto nodded. Yes. Now you remember stories about fairy tales, monsters under the bed, vampires, and all that other shit? Issei nodded. Now get ready to have your mind fucked, kid. All those stories about God, monsters, angels, and shit are real. God does exist, along with any other religious gods and goddesses. Monsters, demons real. They have been alive and around since the earth was old weeks old. Heaven, hell are real places. Now pay close attention. Since the universe was created, there have been two forces. The light and the darkness. The biblical God had governed heaven, the kingdom of light and holy. He watched over the universe, protecting it. Now light was born first, so darkness was still developing. God then created Earth, and created 2 humans, his children Adam and Eve. Yada yada yada, humans were created. However, darkness soon rose. Beside God, there existed another force. God's complete opposite, the yin to his yang, etc. His name was Satan, the father of all evil and sin, the one who embodied darkness to its purest form. God and Satan had been fighting with one another for centuries with no end. However, one day, Satan discovered something never before seen. He discovered a force that could bend the minds and will of the weak. A black energy. With it, Satan used the energy on the humans. Soon after, humans began to grow jealous of something someone else had and wanted it. When the other person wouldn't give it up, the person grew angry and killed him. Many others began doing things God saw as forbidden. This energy became known as sin. This pissed God a lot. And the big man banished and trapped Satan in a fiery realm, which later became known as Makai, or the underworld, home of demons and all shit. Now, centuries later, Satan found a way to open a portal out of Makai and travel to Earth. He then went to spread his sin to the human, creating chaos. Not only that, but in Makai, he used his own blood to create many soldiers and warrior. He created many children, and 72 generals. These became known as demons or Akuma. Now, humans weren't the only ones who got corrupted by sin. Angels soon began to show signs and evidence of doing the same, even going down to Earth and having sex with the human. God was pissed. He banished the angels from heaven. These angels showed signs of corruption, by their wings turning black, showing that their light became corrupted by darkness. They became fallen angels. Finally, comes the final biblical faction. See, when man created the first murder, God didn't know what to do. When humans died, they got up to heaven. However, God didn't want any sinful beings in his holy palace, so he created an oblivion dimension to send their souls to. This became known as hell, where the souls would be tortured by eternal flames. However, some souls contain so much sin in them that it deforms them. However, the corrupted souls could not control the sin energy, and they became mindless beasts that only want destruction. They became known to stories as monsters or kaiju. These 4 factions have been in constant battle and war since ever. But more on that later. Let's talk about the reason you were attacked. See kid, during this great war as it is called, humans have been caught in the middle. Demons and monster would attack them for food or out of bloodlust. Fallen angels would attack out of jealousy, since God loved humans. While angels would fight to protect them. God wanted his children to be safe, so he created special weapons and gave them to the humans. These weapons became known as sacred gears. Throughout the story, Issei listened with wide, awe eyes. To hear that such things were real was amazing. When he heard the last part, he blinked, as he recalled what Yuma said as he was dying. Sorry. Since you're a potential risk, I had to take care of you sooner or later. If you want to place blame, curse God, who put the sacred gear within your body. Yuma said something like that yesterday. Issei said, making Naruto nodded as he placed his feet down. He placed his elbows on the desk, clasping his hands and leaned his mouth on it. Yes. Sacred gears are powerful weapons that grant humans supernatural abilities. Many historical figures had sacred gears themselves, which is what allowed them to do what they did. Sacred gears helped humans defend themselves against foes. Fallen angels became to fear them, as their forces were rapidly cut down to barely 100. That is why the Raven girl tricked you to go on a date with her, so you would be vulnerable enough to kill. Issei cringed, subconsciously placing his hand on his stomach, remembering where the spear of light pierced through him. Now, the reason no one but the 2 of us remember who she was, is because she casted a powerful spell that completely wiped her existence from the minds of humans, and all records. But if I died, how dash? The brunette stuttered, but Naruto knew what he was asking. The reason you are alive is thanks to that red-haired girl from your school, he said, making Issei snap his head up and gasp. Why you mean, Rias-senpai? Naruto nodded. She may look like a normal human, well except with a large rack, but she is anything but. See, she is actually a demon, more specifically a devil. DD devil? Issei nearly yelled in shock. Yep, and the reason she was able to save you from death is because you somehow called her. At least that's what I think. I would tell you more, but I think I'll let her explain it to you. No doubt she will send for you tomorrow to talk to you. When she does, I want you to do something. He opened a drawer and took out card. It was crimson red, with the design of a black skull in the middle. He handed it to Issei. When are called for, hold this card in your hands and picture me. It will let me know, and I will go to your school to talk with Red. Issei looked at the card, before looking at him. Who are you? How do you know all of this? Naruto smirked at him. I'm just a man who's seen a lot. I'll explain everything tomorrow. Now you better get home before it gets too dark. Issei looked at the clock on the wall, and saw it was 8:45 p.m. Crap. I'm gonna be late. My mom's gonna kill me, he said in distress as he shot up from his chair. Naruto chuckled. Then you better get going, he said and waved him off. Issei nodded and bowed to him in thanks. See you later, kid. The devil hunter called as Issei left the shop. Once he was gone, Naruto sighed. So the fallen angels targeted a human. Azazel, if I find out you are behind this, even after I warned you that messing with humans is messing with me. His purple eyes began to glow crimson, while a glow shined through the bandages. Shaking off his thought, Naruto opened the top drawer and pulled out a file. Placing it on the desk, he opened it and picked up the first paper. KUOH Academy Teacher Application. The next day, Rias's POV. It's been 2 days since I come back to the club room after the interesting event 2 nights ago. After I made sure my new pawn was alright, I questioned Kaneko, who oversaw the fight between the stranger, Naruto, and the fallen angel. It still shocks me that the man was able to injure, let alone beat a supernatural. Just who is this man? This Naruto Diabolus? His energy didn't feel like a demon's, or even an angel's. Though, he wasn't human either. When I was close to him, I could detect something in him, but didn't know what. A sacred gear, perhaps? You're not human, are you? Naruto stopped and turned around to face the female devil. He smirked at her and shrugged. Who knows? I'm not even sure myself. Arg. This whole thing was giving me a headache. I sent Akino to find any information about this man. Still, I need to put this out of my mind. Today I will tell Issei about his new life as a devil, and as me pawn. Hopefully everything would turn out good, and we can get started. Only a few months left, I thought as I glared at the calendar hanging on the wall. Only a few months before I am forced to getting married to that. Not if I can help it. I am going to get stronger to challenge Riser to a rating game. Screw the rules. I will not be forced to marry that despicable man. If all else failed, I still have plan B to fall back on. But hopefully, it won't come down to that. Looking at the clock, I saw it was around 3. Nodding my head, I looked at one of me peerage members in the club room with me, the other being my rook Kaneko. Kiba-kun, please fetch Issei Haidu for me and bring him here. My knight Yudo Kiba, second-year student. Kiba was a handsome young man, adored by all the human female students. He had short blonde hair, gray eyes, and a mole under his left eye. He was wearing the Ko Academy boys' school uniform, consists of a black blazer with white accents over a white, long-sleeved dress shirt with a black ribbon on the collar, matching black pants, and brown dress shoes. Females loved him, especially thanks to his polite personality and manners. The blonde knight nodded and bowed to me. Hi, Rias-sama. He then left the room to do as assigned. Seconds after he left, my queen, Akino Himejima, entered. Akino was the most popular female in the school, after me of course. She had long black, blue-tinted hair with a long ponytail flowing down to her legs tied with an orange ribbon. She had violet eyes that showed politeness and gentility. However, it was a mask hiding the true monster within her. To my slight anger, Akino had a larger bust than me, something the queen always took the chance to rub in my face. She wore the female uniform, showing her mile-long, cream-white legs. Ah, Akino-chan. Did you do as I asked? I asked her, hoping for something on this mystery. Akino nodded but frowned. I did, Bucho. However, I was not able to discover much. Apparently he was an orphan, adopted by a priest. He lived in a church since childhood in South Japan. He traveled all over the world, but that was all I could find out. No named parents, any relatives, everything else is unknown. My best friend told me. I frowned at not knowing anything about that man, but nodded. While it only made me even more suspicious, I knew one thing. If this man was a threat to my peerage, he will pay. Issei's POV. Like usual, I sat in class, barely paying attention to the annoying teacher's lecture as my mind was busy with thoughts. However, for the first time, I wasn't thinking about breasts, or my own harem. Instead, I was thinking about the conversation I had with Naruto-san yesterday, and about this supernatural war no one knew about. A part of me wanted to deny it, saying it was crazy stuff from an insane man. But then I always think back to Yuma, and those black wings bursting out of her back. Naruto said she was a fallen angel, and that she killed me because of something called a sacred gear, but I was resurrected by Rias-senpai, and that I was now a demon, a devil. I know I wanted some fun in my life, but not like this. Question was, what do I do now? I want to know where Yuma was. Even though she killed me, a part of me wanted to find her and get some questions. Were her feelings fake? Did the time we spent together mean nothing? I also wanted to find Rias-senpai, and thank her for saving my life. Though I questioned if I should tell Matsuda and Motohama about what happened. Not to mention brag about seeing actual live breasts. Nah. They probably wouldn't even believe me. Probably say he dreamed it all, assholes. But now what? Do I continue life like normal? Do I go on awesome adventure? Am I gonna have to drink blood and live in a coffin? Oh wait. That's vampire. Is there a difference? Though that explained why I felt so strange yesterday, not to mention how I was able to see so clearly at night after leaving Naruto-san's place. Adding the incredible hearing from over yards away, and the rejuvenated feeling when I stepped into the night. Maybe this whole devil thing wasn't so bad after all. I feel like Superman. I was so in my thoughts that I didn't even realize that class was over, and lunch break started. I glanced over as I felt Matsuda nudge me on the side. Yo man. You alright? You didn't run to the female change rooms to peep on them. The shave-headed teen stated. I gave him a blinking stare, before returning me gaze forward, looking at nothing specifically. Fine, I guess. Just thinking is all. I replied back dully. I had too much on my mind to even pay attention to anything around me. I met this amazing, beautiful girl and went on a date with her, who later turned out to be a dark, winged woman who throws spears of light. She tried to kill me. Strange man named Naruto saved me. I foolishly ran out of my hiding spot and got myself killed. Rias senpai, who was a devil, appeared and resurrected me back as a devil myself. Learned about the supernatural around us. Fallen angels, heaven, God, demon. Was it me, or did my life suddenly turn into a manga or anime overnight? Suddenly my thoughts were cut off as I heard the piercing shrieks of the females. Looking up, I scoffed when I saw the reason entering the room. Yuto Kiba, the most popular male student in Ko Academy. Mr. Pretty Boy. All the females loved him. He was their Prince Charming. However, all the male students hated him, myself included. It's Kiba-kun. He's so cool. Kiba-kun. Come join us for lunch. Arg. The women were practically throwing themselves at him. Curse him. Yuto just gave them a smile, making their faces turn red. $% shit. Why is fate so cruel? My mood getting depressed, I laid my head down on my desk. I wasn't hungry, so I'll wait for school to be over. Excuse me? Are you perhaps Hayata Issei-kun? I lifted my head up, and to my distaste, it was Yuto team standing in front of me desk. Fuck you, fate. Seriously, what do you want? I asked as I glared at him. I was not in the mood to deal with this bastard. Meanwhile, said bastard continued with his damn smile. Oh, how I want to punch it away. I came here with a message from Rias Gremory. I could feel my eyes widen at that. Would you come with me for a bit? The blonde asked. Rias Gremory, the devil woman who saved me. She was calling for me. Normally, I would feel anxious to actually be willingly called by a beautiful woman, especially one of the great ladies, the #1 most beautiful girl in school. However, now that I know what she was, a demon, I felt nervous. She was going to kill me to keep her identity a secret? Though being killed by a gorgeous girl couldn't be that bad, right? I dumbly rose up from my seat, and began to follow after the blonde prince, ignoring the cries of despair from the horror-struck females. How dare he walk beside Kiba-kun? The air around him will be soiled. What a disgusting couple. As we left the classroom, I tried to calm my beating heart. Yep, and the reason she was able to save you from death is because you somehow called her. At least that's what I think. I would tell you more, but I think I'll let her explain it to you. No doubt she will send for you tomorrow to talk to you. When she does, I want you to do something. He opened a drawer and took out card. It was crimson red, with the design of a black skull in the middle. He handed it to Issei. When are called for, hold this card in your hands and picture me. It will let me know, and I will go to your school to talk with Red. Remembering Naruto-san's words, I discreetly placed my hand into my pocket, my fingers feeling the texture of the card. Hope this works. I imagined Naruto's face, praying that it worked. I suddenly grunted, as a suddenly pain hit my head. Luckily, Yuto didn't hear it, or he ignored it. What was that? Normal POV. Unseen by the two students, the card in Issei's pocket glowed for a bit, before it dulled. The two soon left the school building, and made their way into the forest surrounding the academy. Just when the brunette was about to ask where they were going, they stopped. Here we are, Kiba said. Issei looked forward, and sweat dropped when he saw that they stopped at the old, abandoned school building. What are we doing here? He questioned mentally. Kiba didn't even look at him, as he made his way inside. Come, Rias-sama is waiting. Hey, wait. Issei called as he followed. Inside, the two stopped in front of a room. We're here, the blonde stated. Issei asked when he saw the sign over the door. Occult Research Club? Following Kiba, he entered and saw that the inside was a dark room, lit up by a few candles. Looking around, the newly born devil saw that the interior was a wood-paneled room with Victorian-style couches and chairs along the walls, and a desk at the front right side, with a chalkboard behind it. There were some portraits hanging on the walls, but it was too dark to see. What is this room? Looking around, Issei blinked when he spotted someone sitting on one of the couch, eating some treats. She was a young, petite girl, with white hair with 2 long bangs that passed her shoulders, and hazel eyes. She had a black, cat-shaped hair clip on both sides of her hair. She wore the female uniform. Wah! That's first-year Tuju Kaneko-chan, a frail body type, a matchless lowly face. This is a mascot character popular with girls as well as boys. Kaneko-chan. Kiba called to the girl, who looked at them. This is Hayata Issei-kun. Issei jerked and bowed. Hello? How are you? Kaneko stared at him for a while, making him sweat, before nodding and turned back to eating her treat. Issei chuckled sheepishly, before he suddenly heard something. Turning his head, he gasped when he saw a shower curtain. A bathtub? Is someone taking a bath? His eye went wide, when he could make out the figure of the person who called for him inside. Aria-senpai? She's taking a shower. I can see her figure. Those beautiful lines, obscured not by the steam or curtain creases. This is heaven. Butcho, you have a guest. He heard a voice say. Thank you, Akino. Issei was practically drooling as smoke shot out from his nostrils. Over there is a naked, Rias-senpai. This is the best club room ever. He mentally shouted. Kaneko gazed at him and scoffed. Disgusting. What an odious face, she said, before looking away from the brunette, who had a devastated look. Era. So you are the new member. Issei turned his head, and gasped when he saw Akino, the second great lady. His cheeks burned red, making Akino giggle and walk towards him, her hips swaying. Issei gulped his saliva as he backed up a bit, suddenly feeling like a caged prey for some reason. Welcome, Haida-kun. I am Akino Himejima. I am the vice president. Have a pleasant time here. She greeted him with a bow. Stuttering, Issei bowed back gently. Hi. Thank you for having me. He replied, though he had a hard time not staring at her large breasts as they bounced. Shaking his head, he rubbed the back of his neck. I am Haida Issei. Please take care of me. Ah, Haida-kun. You are here, good. Issei looked as a dressed Rias stepped out of the shower. Rias-senpai. The crimson-haired devil smiled kindly at her. Welcome, Issei, to the Occult Research Club. Now that you are here, we can begin. Issei moved and sat next to Kaneko, while Kiba and Akino sat on the other couch as Rias sat on the desk. Now Issei, this is something important you should know. This club is merely a facade, a hobby for us. Issei blinked in confusion. A hobby? What do you mean? To put in simply, we are devils. Issei's eyes widened in shock. While he already knew that Rias was a devil, he didn't expect for everyone here to be one as well. He gulped, now feeling more nervous. He was surrounded, with possibly no way out. What? That girl you had been on a date with 2 days ago, Yuma. She was a fallen angel. Fallen angels are the angels originally from heaven that serve the gods, cast out and sent to Makai, the underworld, due to their impure ideas and wicked mature. When controlling humans, they attempt to destroy us devils. Ever since ancient times, they passed from heaven to earth to Makai. Devils and fallen angels have been in constant battle for control of Makai. We devils make pacts and deals with humans for a price in order to obtain powers, whereas the fallen angels take control of humans and use them to destroy us. Aside from the two, there are also angels, soldiers of God, sent down from heaven ordered to exterminate both sides. There are also mindless creatures that only wish to destroy everything in their path. These four sides have been in constant war since the very beginning. Do you understand what I'm saying so far? While he already heard the story from Naruto, he still found it overwhelming. Well, it's a bit deep for a normal teen, he said as he rubbed the back of his head. He then looked at Rias, his expression turning serious, which took Rias by surprise. Yuma-chan, she had black wings. She was a fallen angel, wasn't she? She killed me, and you, Rias-senpai, you saved my life, didn't you? Her and Naruto. He owed that man a lot. Rias blinked. She didn't think he actually remembered what happened, or was able to recognize her when he was at the brink of limbo. She nodded. Yes. She was a fallen angel, and she killed you because you possessed a sacred gear. Sacred gear, Issei muttered, recalling what Naruto told him. Akino took over the explanation. Sacred gear are special tools that reside in special humans, giving them abilities far above normal. For example, great intelligence, tremendous agility, or those who are called geniuses. Although most of them can only take effect within human society, some of them may possess enough power to harm us devils and fallen angels. So, Yuma-chan only pretended to like me for the sacred gear. Issei muttered sadly as he looked down. Ma, kid. Don't get all emo on me. Everyone in the room gasped and jumped in shock at the sudden voice. They looked over as Naruto walked out of the built-in kitchen, an apple in hand, which he took a bite out of. Naruto-san. The brunette said, surprised at seeing the man come out of nowhere. You! A shocked Rias shouted, pointing at the mystery man she ran into days ago. Naruto shot her a smirk and gave her a two-finger salute. Sup, Red? Missed me? The other members of the peerage stood up in guarded stances, Kiba pointing a sword at him. Kaneko tightened her fists and got in a boxer stance, and Akino's hands sparked with lightning. How did you get here? Rias demanded, knowing that he couldn't have come through the doors or windows, as the barrier would have detected him. He also couldn't have teleported in, as she would have sensed magic energy. Naruto didn't even look nervous, as he continued eating his apple. Once he was finished, he threw the apple core up and down his hand. On the third caught, with blinking speed, he flicked the core like a bullet. It hit Kiba, making him stagger back. With the surprise strike distracting everyone, Naruto disappeared and appeared in front of Kaneko. He grabbed her arm and pulled her as he span on his heels. Without effort, he threw her at a shocked Akino, making the two fall on the ground. Snapping his arm back, he grabbed Lilith from his waist as he shot his other arm out, grabbing Rias's wrist. Taking the chance, he kicked her foot from behind, making her yip as she lost her balance. Making behind her, he pulled her arm behind her back and placed the barrel of Lilith under her chin. All that happened in just 2.4 seconds. Wah! Issei yelled in shock at what just happened, as the other devils picked themselves up. They glared at Naruto for taking their king hostage, while he just smirked. Poor work. Really poor. You let yourselves be caught off guard, and now your king is caught. You know what this means, right? His smirk grew, showing his fangs. Issei watched in shock, not knowing what to do. Bang! Rias flinched at Naruto's shout, along with the others. Oat. Check, you lose. He told them as he pulled his gun away and placed it back on its place. He took a step back from a confused Rias, and immediately found himself with a blade at his throat. Who are you? Kiba demanded. The Snow-Ette just gave him a grin, before he vanished. The group looked around for the intruder, before they found him sitting comfortably on a couch, sipping on a can of Coke. Where he got that, no one knew. Well, now that that's out of the way, shall we be moving on? He asked as he took a sip. Rias glared at him. Why are you here? She demanded. Her answer was a shrug. 2 reasons, actually. First, so I can help explain what the kid here should be expecting in his new life. And second, to meet with the devils that own this part of Japan. Like hell, I'm letting some demons I don't know run a human city. How do you know, Issei? Once more, he shrugged as he took another sip. Save the kid from being shish kebabbed by that wing bitch. Well, before the idiot revealed himself and got himself killed, he shot said idiot a glare, who rubbed his head and chuckled sheepishly. It was kind of a dumb move in his part. Bitch stabbed me right through the back. Should have broken her wing. He muttered angrily. The other's sweat dropped at his muttering. Shaking his head, he leaned back and drank the remaining soda. Crushing the can, he threw it over his shoulder, which landed perfectly on the trash bin on the corner. Now, yesterday I left Issei my business card. When he visited me, I told him what he needed to know if he was getting himself into all this crap. I told him about the Great War, FanFiction, and the Sacred Gears. Wait a minute. You said you got stabbed by a light spear? Then, how did you survive? What are you? Rias asked. Naruto chuckled. Ain't that the $1,000,000 question? Let's just say I'm more than I appear. I'll give you a hint. I am the equilibrium of light and darkness, the one who walks the twilight path, while others walk the path of darkness, or blindly follow the light. See if you can figure that out. He told them. Rias frowned at the riddle, not being given much. No, forget about that for the moment. You were talking about Issei's sacred gear? Rias gave him a cautious look, before turning to Issei, as Kiba and Akino sat on the other coach. Kaneko reluctantly sat next to Naruto, who smirked at her. She took out a candy bar out of somewhere, and began to eat it. As she ate, she suddenly tensed as fingers began scratching the top of her head. She soon began to relax, as the scratching quickly calmed her. Issei. The brunette turned to the redhead. Raise your left hand. He blinked in confusion, before doing as told. Close your eyes and strike a pose that makes you feel like you could draw out a strong power from within. He blinked in confusion, and reluctantly shifted his body with his legs bended and his hands pulled to the side, hands made in a cupping motion. Naruto chuckled at the stance, making the teen blush in embarrassment. Why am I doing something so embarrassing? He asked himself. Even Rias' sweat dropped. What a strange pose, it doesn't look like you have any power. Come on, kid! You can do it! Trust in the force, young Padawan. Naruto quoted in encouragement. While he didn't know much about him, he could feel that the brat was a good kid. Focus, focus, focus. Issei chanted, trying as hard as he could to bring out any great power. Wah wah wah! The devil hunter mocked with a chuckle as Issei sighed in sadness and disappointment. Ma kid. Don't be so down. It's like having sex. You don't know what you are doing the first time, but after practice, you act like a pro, he said with a laugh, as Issei blushed at the statement with a drop of blood coming down his nose at the thoughts entering his head. Pervert. Kaneko muttered, making Naruto smirk at her. Nah. We'll see if you still think that after you acquire the taste of pure pleasure, Nico-chan. He whispered to her, making her eyes slightly widen. Shaking off his thoughts for later, the brunette looked at Rias. Ano? Are you sure it wasn't all some sort of mistake? He asked her. The king hummed in thought. The truth remains, that fallen angel targeted you. Do not worry, we'll try again later. That reminds me. How am I still alive? He asked the question he wanted to know about. Rias smirked, but glanced at Naruto, who was busy drinking another can of Coke he got from somewhere, as he scratched the top of a content Kaneko's head. The hunter saw her looking at him, and gave her a V sign. I'd figure you should tell him about the system, it would be better than me. He explained. Rias nodded, before blinking and looked at him questionably. How do you know about the system? She asked. This man was getting her more and more confused by the minute. His answer another of his damn smirks. I know a lot of things, Beneheim. He told her with a joking tone, making her eyebrow twitch. She was starting to hate this man. Meanwhile, as that was going on, Akino handed Issei a piece of paper. Issei looked at it, and recognized it as one of the flyers he got while on his date. It had the same circular pentagram symbol on it, and everything. Clearing her throat, Rias began explaining. Like I mentioned before, a devil requires a signed contract in order to utilize a human's power. They forge an agreement based on the fulfillment of a human's wish, taking power equivalent to the wish they grant. Like all demons, devils are beings of humanity's sin. In a way, we drink the sin of humans, growing stronger with each one. In the past, devils used to absorb the sin by either eating the human's heart, or sucking out their souls. Though the latter was mostly done through sexual intercourse. Naruto chimed in, with Rias nodding, though she wondered how he knew that. Things have changed in the past centuries, and are now done this way. That contract has a seal on it, which once touched by a human, syncs with their soul. That pentagram will let the devil know when a human's sin grew and becomes strong, it will summon the devil. Once the wish is performed, the seal will absorb some of the sin and transfer it to the demon. The more sin a demon absorbs, the stronger they become. Back in ancient times, humans were able to create their own summon pentagrams. However, the number of those humans have become barely non-existent. That's why we were giving out simplified pentagrams to people with strong desires. That was how you were able to call me. In your dying moment, you wished to at least die in the arms of a beautiful girl, or at least live enough to fulfill my dream. She told the brunette. Issei nodded, recalling what he felt while he was dying. While I approach you, I sensed the sacred gear within you, so I resurrected you into my peerage. Now hi to Issei, you serve me as my pawn, she said, and at that moment, 2 devil-bat wings bursted out of his back. Issei freaked out, while the other peerage members also let out their wings. I have wings too. I really have turned into a devil, Issei said, shocked as he felt his wings. He idly noted that his jacket wasn't ripped from where the wings come out of. That's right. It symbolizes your status as a devil. You have been reborn as my little brother and as my servant, Rias told him. You are now part of the divine Gremory clan, Issei gaped at her, before sighing and held his head down. Does that mean from now on I'll always be a servant? He asked depressively as he knelt on the ground. Naruto chuckled as he watched the brunette mope. Throwing away his empty can, he stood up, patting Kaneko on the head, and walked over to the teen. Patting him on the shoulder, he knelt down and leaned close to his ear. Ma kid. You are a devil now, and devils are creatures of sin. I reckon, if you do well, it's possible that you will one day have servants of your own. He hinted with a smirk. The kid's life may be different from now on, but the least he could do is show him the positives. Issei's eyes widened at that. My own servants? He thought, the image of him with his own harem of beautiful, busta girls serving his every needs appearing in his head. Issei-sama, oh Issei-sama, a wide grin appeared on his face, as he quickly stood up. Servants? As in people who must obey my orders? He asked as Naruto backed away from him, a satisfied grin on his face. Rias nodded. That's right. Anything? No matter what I ask of them? Even something sexual? He asked, hope spreading through him. Again, Rias nodded, confused on why he was shaking. If they're your servants, then yes, of course. His eye blazing with determined flames, Issei shot straight up. I'll do it. I want to be a devil. I will become a harem king. Kiba chuckled at the way he acted, while Kaneko gave the former human a dull look. Simple-minded. I can throw away all of my hidden porno mags, Issei muttered to himself, before shaking his head. No, I can't do that. There me treasure this and that are 2 different things. 2 different things. Naruto laughed at the teen's antic. He was liking him more and more. He reminded him of a certain someone, though the difference was that he actually liked Issei more than that person. Meanwhile, a giggling Akino looked at Rias. So when you said, perhaps we'll have an idiotic little brother soon, this is what you meant, Rias nodded. That's right. So, Haida-kun. Are you willing to become my servant? She asked the happy brunette, who nodded rapidly. Hi. Rias-senpai. But the red-headed devil shook her head. No. Remember, you have to call me Bucho. Issei nodded. Hi Bucho. Faces in the crowd will smile again, and the devil may cry at the end of the night. Everyone turned and watched as Naruto took out his cell phone and answered it. Yeah? Where the hell are you? The man was nearly blown away from the sheer force of the shout from the person on the other line. He held the phone away from him as his ear kept ringing. You were supposed to be home for dinner hours ago. Once the ringing stopped, the snow-haired hunter replied. Damn it, woman. You nearly made my brain explode with that voice of yours. Don't take that tone with me, you bastard. Where are you? I am meeting with my new neighbors. I told you before I felt excuses. I busted my ass making this food for you. So get your ass here, this instant. Or you can find somewhere else to sleep. It's my house, damn it. You can't kick me out. I will if you don't get here. The woman shouted back, before hanging up. Glaring at the phone, Naruto was so tempted to crush it in his hands. Damn woman. No respect, I tell ya. I bust my ass to make money, and she's ordering me around like some dog. She's the one staying over after she burned down her own apartment, he muttered angrily, as he pocketed the phone. Taking a deep breath, he turned back to the other. Well, it looks like I'd better go. See you around, kid. Make sure you don't go out with girls who will literally stab you in the back. Nice meeting the rest of you. Giving them a slight bow, he turned to leave, before Rias called after him. Wait. Just who are you? How did you get in here? Stopping, Naruto looked back at her. Staring silently for a few more seconds, he shrugged. Reaching into his pocket, he took out a card and threw it at her. "See ya," he called out before he left. Rias looked after the door for a few seconds, before she looked down at the card in her hands. Her eyes widened slightly at what was on it. Naruto S. Diabolus, Devil May Cry, Supernatural Hunting Agency. We take care of any troublesome supernatural menace, permanently. 3514854875, 13th Katashi Avenue, a demon hunter, one of the devil's most dangerous enemies, was just here, and they didn't even know it. The next day, Ko Academy, Issei sighed as he sat down at his desk, laying his head on it. He was tired. After Naruto-san left, he spent the rest of the day passing out flyers to people. It took all night, but he was able to empty out a full box. Not only that, but Rias taught him about the ranks of nobility, and that he needed to become a high-ranked devil to be able to gain his own peerage. The more contracts he forms, the more his status increases to be able to rise in level. Who knew doing chores would be such hard work? I was able to pass out all the flyers, but didn't get any contracts. He then shook his head. No. I need to stay focused. I need to keep myself determined. I will become harem king. Just then, the door to the classroom opened, and the principal entered. He was a tall man, with tan skin. His eyes were narrow and the color of chestnuts. His dark, silky, curly hair was worn in a style that reminds you of a fluttering flag. He was a professional gray suit, with a red tie. He smiled kindly at the students. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kocho-sama. The class replied. I'm afraid I have some bad news. Your teacher, Ms. Kitachi, has taken a leave of absence as she was transferred to another school. Luckily, I was able to get someone to fill in the spot. You may come in now. The door opened, and everyone watched as a man with strange, white-colored hair entered. He was a black business suit with a red tie. In his hand, he carried a briefcase. Good morning, everyone. Issei's eye widened at the voice. His head snapped up, and looked at the familiar man. Naruto-san? What's he doing here? He thought worriedly. Naruto moved toward the desk, and laid his case on top of it. He turned around and grabbed a piece of chalk. My name is Mr. Asakura. I am your new literature teacher. He looked at them with a smirk. This was Goanna Bifuen. Naruto whistled a tune as he calmly walked through the dark streets of the town, his case in hand. It's been nearly a week since he met Issei, introduced himself to Red and her peerage, and got a job at the academy. The latter was quite easy. All he had to do was find a teacher, use his charm on her, get her to resign, meet the principal, look at his eyes, and work his magic. It was pure coincidence the Gaki was in the class he got in. Since then, he would teach the kids whatever crap he knew, talk with Issei about his new life, maybe mess with Red, and spend his time doing his primary job, such as what he was currently doing. His favorite part was flirting with female teachers and or students. He was part devil, the personification of sin. Age meant shit to him. Have his students do mind-numbing work, offer the Gaki advice when asked, ate fresh Italian pizza from an Italian shop. There was no fucking way that cafeteria pizza was edible. It was a joke against good pizza, and spend some quality time with Red. What is a demon hunter doing here? Rias demanded, giving Naruto her best glare. However, it had no effect on the Snoette, as he just smirked at her, laying his feet on the table in front of him. He calmly sipped some tea Akino gave. He had already awaited this meeting ever since Akino stepped into his shop. He hummed at the taste, nodding to the dark-haired devil. This is quite good. Tastes kind of familiar. Did you make it from the Kavra flowers in the underworld? He asked. The Kavra flowers had special pollen that put the people who smell them under an illusion, showing them their most happiest moments. This tea worked by make drinkers taste their favorite desserts. He tasted strawberry sundae. Akino nodded with her usual smile. Yes. I'm surprised, as Kavra flowers are quite rare, and many have forgotten their existence. Naruto nodded. Yes, I'm quite lucky to have my own planted at my garden at my house. Though, I usually like to put some sugar and honey in mine. It enhances the taste. Oh. I will have to try that. Rias's eyebrow twitched. It would appear she was being ignored. Ahem. The duo looked at her. Back to our discussion. What are you doing here? She asked/demanded him. Naruto sighed and put his cup down. Calm down, princess. I'm not here to kill you, or your peerage. I may be a demon hunter, but I only take care of demons and monsters who harm humans. As long as you do not bring them harm, I won't take off that little pretty head of yours with my sword. He smirked at her as he placed his hand on his case, leaning beside him, making Rias flinch. She had to resist feeling her throat. Rias eyed the case in caution. A demon hunter was not to be underestimated. She lost a cousin to a demon hunter because he was reckless. She turned back to him as he continued. I know all about your faction war, and to put it simply, it sucks. You idiots are putting humans in danger, and that is something I cannot have. From now on, the humans of this city are under my protection. Now I can either be your friend, or your enemy. If you don't want to be an accessory on my wall, you'll leave humans alone. I've already got those damn hell demons and monsters attacking humans at night. Don't have time for you. Rias narrowed her eyes at him. Is that a threat? He shrugged. Consider it what you want. Just watch your actions, he said before he stood up. Nodding to Akino and thanks for the tea, he turned to leave. Wait. Stopping, he glanced at Rias over his shoulder. She looked at him. Equilibrium of light and darkness. I have recalled hearing that phrase before. It took a while, but I finally remembered where I heard it. But it's just a myth. Naruto smirked at her. Nearly all myths come from facts, princess. He left. Akino looked at her, king, and saw the troubled look. What's wrong, Rias-chan? She asked. From the shining lights of heaven, and the abysmal depths of the underworld, beings of pure power surfaced into existence, wielding power to shake the realms, these being our fears and praised. Their names forever lost in the sands of time, their power forever remembered. Nephilim. That was a quote I read on an old text when I was younger. Naruto is a Nephilim. Akino's eyes widened in shock. Nephilim, half angels / half demons. She had heard about them, but only in tales her mother told her. It was said that there lived a whole colony species of hybrid beings before and during the Second War. Nephilim being one of them. This colony was known as the Forgotten Race, or the Lost Faction. It was back when the war was still young. Shocking enough, there were angels, demons, and fallen angels that did not want to fight, and only wanted to continue their existence. They didn't even hate their eternal enemies, and even had children with them. Nephilim, half angels, half demons. The offspring of two opposing forces, containing all their power, less of their weaknesses, and more. They were beings either hated for future threats, or wanted for their power. There were more hybrids, but the Nephilim were the most dangerous. And Naruto was probably the last, and only one remaining. Rias frowned. This may complicate things. She needed to inform her brother. Naruto smirked as he kept walking to his destination. It may cause some problems, but what were a few problems for some fun? Looking around him, he saw that he close to a bar. His eyes wandered through the streets. The place was deserted, some buildings were damaged, windows busted, and sniffing, he could detect a lingering smell of blood. He was in the bad part of the town, in more ways than one. Spotting an open bar, he walked in. There was a low music playing, 3 guys sitting at a table playing cards, and a bartender cleaning a cup. Moving, he ignored the looks the guys sent his way, and sat on a seat at the bar, laying his case against it. He tapped his finger on the table, getting the tender's attention. A kaidoku, he ordered. The bartender narrowed his eyes at him, before moving to get the drink. Setting a cup on the table, he began pouring. When ready, Naruto grabbed the drink and chunked it down his throat. Grabbing the bottle, he refilled the cup. Being part devil meant no hangover, unless he drank holy water, or danger of liver cancer. The bartender went back to his cleaning, occasionally glancing at the Snowiette. So, he started. What brings a fellow like you to these parts? Refilling the cup, Naruto shrugged. Just enjoying the quiet night. It's a full moon tonight. And thought I could use a drink, the tender hummed, glancing at the men playing cards. A drink is nice to soothe my mind before I play my gig. Always nice to hear music on such a good night, Naruto said as he drank his sake. He smirked softly. You could just hear it right now. Calm, relaxing music. Nothing like that shitty illusion casting music you have right now. The tender tensed, as the men set their cards on the table. Naruto took the bottle and chunked the rest of the drink. Ah. A kaidoku, red poison? Strange, isn't it? This type of drink is quite rare, only found in the richest parts of the underworld. Bam! One of the men slammed his hands on the table and shot up. His eyes glowed a thirsty crimson as he looked at Naruto. How about I let you enjoy it in hell? His skin seemed to shred off his body, before a created with dark green skin shot out of the disguise at Naruto, claws ready to shred him to pieces. It slammed its hand down on him. Raising an eyelid when he didn't see any blood and flesh, he saw a shadow over him. He looked up. SHTK. Its eyes widened when a blade pierced through its head, between its eyes. Naruto blinked as he landed on the monster's back, sending it crashing to the ground, rebellion in hand. Pulling it out, he gave a swipe, sending blood off the steel. Placing it on his shoulder, he glanced behind him at the other two. Now that we've got the music playing, how about we dance? With a roar, the two tore off their disguises and leaped at the man. Pulling out Lilith, Naruto fired at the one on the left, bullets flying and piercing through its body and neck, before he jumped up and over the other. Spinning rebellion around his fingers, he slashed down Demon Number 1's back, making a large gash. Arag, landing, he aimed at Demon Number 2 as it charged at him. Firing bullets at it, his foot moved around the leg of a nearby chair. Swiping it up into the air, he kicked it at Number 2. It slammed and broke against its face, making it stagger. When it looked forward, its eyes widened when Naruto appeared in front of him, the barrel of Lilith an inch away from its eye. Jackpot. Bang! As the body slammed into the ground, its blood spilling out of its new holes, Number 1 stood up from where it crashed into the bottle shelf at the bar. Turning around, it saw its dead brethren, making it roar at Naruto in anger. The Snowiette glanced at it over his shoulder. Want more? Jumping to the air, the Hell Demon sent its sharp claws at the hunter. Naruto blocked it with rebellion. The two struggled against the other to push back. With a grunt, Naruto pushed hard, moving the demon back. Tightening his grip on the handle, he slashed up, cutting across its face. As it cried out in pain, he jumped up into the air before coming down, rebellion in a downward stab. Thrusting the blade down, he pierced through the top of its head and deep into the ground. It gave a loud shriek, before going still. Pulling his sword out, he slashed down and cut off the monster's head. Doing the same to the other two, he put his case on the ground and opened it. Inside the case were many weapons, from swords to guns. Throwing the heads inside, he closed it. He gave his blade a powerful swing, taking off the blood, before putting it on his back, where it stayed. Sheathing Lilith behind his waist, he grabbed his case and made his way toward the door. Pausing, he glanced at the door at the back of the bar. Taking out Iafil, he aimed and fired a shot, before putting it back. Next time, get better music, he said before turning the open sign to close, and leaving. In the back room, blood slipped through the crack, as the body of the bartender fell to the ground, a hole in his forehead. The devil may cry at the end of the night, core pride by UV world. Say o yuk sorzo jie jinsei o uka nu no barakabakusu o shiru sor wako ka, yuwa remido rain o subit ryuga sa ika ka fumadesa sor wakuda, born into the world, each enjoying his own life, discovering the black box in his head is this bliss? The important thing is to surpass your limit line. Shall we go? Take your step, and outdo yourself today. Yapa hibi wa ika senko satsanaka konashai cha ano no sutapinagar o mikawamina mazumano to mo siza ika z. Here we go, but what should we do with our days? Trying to live flawlessly is a big no-no. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Tadaka no mano ya kajiri aru mano and iatsuka nerimu no osatsukura no werikai mo siza osatsuki to shite kitakirai de urasenakata ano otonatachi to naji jan kayo. If I try to suppress my heart, which is burning hot about things that are unobtainable or constrained, how am I different from those adults, whom I have come to despise and will never forgive for their constant attempt to pin me down blindly without even understanding why? Do shitat kanawana eseragoto dero gamuno moya sahai wa dare nimo kizia shinalora karafura kurwa im jie kono mi o narashi furia manaka to mameda cases washernai kono. Mun no hai so jie piredo. No matter what I do, it'll probably forever remain a pipe dream that will never come true. But the fire burning in my heart cannot be doused by anyone. Even if the black rain falling from the sky drenches me completely and doesn't stop, I will never allow the fire in my heart to be extinguished. That is my pride. Yohidori and I Furidashida aim Yosa Iju and I Nakama wa Atsumatadagai no Hibi Yashurai no Hanashir Dud Sukanat Naguriai and I Nata. It started pouring, as predicted. A lot more buddies gathered around than I had expected. While talking about one another's days and futures, we became impassioned and started a fist fight. Jugo no Koro mo Fuan Kara no Geru Unayanaji Una Koto de Naguriata Koto Omodashidami Jie Warida Sakara Kawatnai na Tet or mo Fukadashida Nada. Thinking back about how we were also fist fighting the same way back when we were only 15. As a means to quell our anxiety and uneasiness, you laughed and said, "You haven't changed a bit," so I ended up bursting into laughter as well. So yat eg had fun bad a kaitna kuchajikan no nagar semo kao kanera hunter and I nagura beki I wasana jiban deratada I am a wamakata kunai jiban and I makanai piredo. If we don't stubbornly stand our ground like this, even the flow of time will become a scary thing. The only true opponent whom I should hit is really my prideful self. But still, I don't want to lose right now. I have pride not to lose to myself. Satapanagar o mikawamina mazumano to mo siza ika z. Here we go. Satapanagar o mikawamina mazumano to mo siza ika z. Here we go. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Stop. Observe thoroughly the flow of the world. Ignore everything else, and here we go. Do shitat yapa hitori no yor wajiban no koto saemo wakarana kanarasana or to wakario to shite kura kimi gairu naramato tsuya kanararu. No matter what I do, when I'm alone at night, I become even unable to understand myself. When you're with me, and we try to understand each other, then I'll be able to become stronger. Mao do natat tu kakawarukatat ishinamanaguri de marai o kik yaradishatat karanai umai detu iwarit mameda or wakawarera jiban de kik mizeru. I don't care how things turn out, and I don't care if I'll look uncool. I will desperately try to change my future. Even if I'm told that my destiny is immutable, no matter what I do, I myself can still change, and I will prove to you that I can change myself. Koregie so puredo sorzo no basho da. That's right, pride, each in its own place. Matamata kiruna kokoro no hi omata wajrutakunai mu no atsusa omatamata kiruna kokoro no hi omatamata ikarazo. Don't perish yet. The fire in my heart. I don't want to forget yet. The heat in my chest. Don't perish yet. The fire in my heart. I can still keep going. So here I go. Chapter 3. An Average Life for a Devil. With a chime, the entrance to a sweet shop opened, and Naruto stepped out, a cup of strawberry sundae in hand, and his case on his back. "By Naruto-kun!" A voice from inside called out. Waving behind him, he left. As he walked through the streets, mindlessly eating his sundae with the plastic spoon he let his mind wander. It's been many weeks since he moved here, and it's been boring. Sure, taking down minor monsters were fun, but it soon grew boring. Not to mention he hasn't had a call for missions in a while. There has to be some monsters terrorizing people around the world. There just has to. He was even considering going to that abandoned church and fighting those fallen angels. He sighed. But if I do that, then Azazilgigi will know, then he'll tell Mefibaka, and then that idiot will hang it over my head about starting a war forever. He thought angrily. Let's not forget that he needs to call his peerage. He hasn't seen them in nearly a year, as they were all assigned high missions around the world, and spreading his contacts. They should be done about now. I need to call them to come here. The house is finished for us, and I have this foreboding feeling that something shitty is about to happen. In other news, he has decided to increase business influence to make more money. You can only obtain so much in a demon hunting service in Immortal, and Oblivious, realm, so decided to open a cafe shop at the for sale building across from his shop. It used to be a bakery, so he could use it for his own purposes. He already called the owner, and made a deal. He just ordered supplies, and they should be here in around a few days. It would be a great way to expand his grapevine of information gathering, and make more money. Not to mention it would be great for the members of his peerage who had extra time apart from demon hunting, or were too lazy to get any shit done. Now, all he needed was a name and theme. Not to mention workers, chefs, waitresses, tables, ingredients, etc. Life was not easy for Naruto. He looked up at the sky. Please, mother. Let something fun happen. Here you go. Please take one. They're free. Moving his head down, Naruto blinked when he saw Issei passing out flyers. He blinked once. Twice. He then looked back up. Thanks, Mom. Once again, you're the best, he thought with a wink before walking over to the brunette. Issei smirked at the two female teens as he gave them flyers. 2 flyers for 2 beautiful women. He flirted, making them giggle as they walked away. Mentally cheering at his great luck, he continued to pass out flyers. Yo, Gaki! Blinking at the call, Issei turned around and saw a familiar Snoette in a crimson coat. Naruto-san. Getting close, he lightly bumped the top of the brunette's head. Of course, even though it was lightly, the man's strength was still enough to make the teen hold the top of his head in pain. Don't call me San, makes me feel old. So what you doing, Gaki? Shouldn't you be pranking people, or getting into trouble, or whatever you guys do? He asked as he put a spoonful of ice cream in his mouth. As Issei rubbed the bump on his head, he looked at him. Don't call me Gaki. I'm only a few years younger than you. And I'm passing out flyers for Bucho, he said as he showed the last flyer he had. Looking at it, Naruto recognized the Gremory family seal on it. I just have to give this out, and I'll be done. Nodding, the man grabbed the flyer of his hand. Well, there we go. You're done, Gaki, he said with a smirk as he pocketed the flyer. Who knows, he might need it one day, Issei blinked before shrugging. That may work. Bucho said he had to pass out the flyers, she didn't say he couldn't pass them out to people he knew. Thanks, Naruto. Naruto raised his fist at him. Ah. Naruto. Thanks, Naruto. Naruto lowered his fist and smirked at him. No problem. Just looking out for my little Gaki student. Issei glared at him at the little Gaki comment. So, you got any contracts? He asked as the two walked. Issei sighed and shook his head. No. Bucho said that when I'm done delivering flyers, I can begin fulfilling contracts. He then perked up. Wait. That was the last of the flyers. I can start now, he stated excitedly. Finishing up his sundae, the devil hunter threw it away at a nearby trash can, which landed perfectly, before looking at the teen. Good for you, and if you want, I can come with you to help you with filling out wishes. Issei nodded to him in gratitude, before a question came to mind. Hey, Naruto? Why are you so helpful to me? That has been bothering him for a while now, but not too much. He was just curious. Naruto didn't know a thing about him, so why be so helpful? Naruto looked at him. Well, call it making up for getting you killed. Huh, you see, kid, if I didn't get distracted, you wouldn't have been stabbed by that bird. You would still be human. But I fail, and now you're a devil. Issei stopped walking and looked at him. Hey. It's not your fault. It's mine. And besides, being a devil has been great so far. Stopping as well, Naruto looked at him, his expression serious. That's because you haven't been one for long. Listen, kid, being a devil isn't all fun and games, and getting girls. Devils and other demons have many enemies. Angels, churches, fallen angels, even some humans. You will have many enemies that will seek for your death just because you are a devil. Not only that, but you will now outlive the people you care about, as demons have extended lifespans. Your parents, your friends, you will outlive them. Some devils stop aging physically around their mid-20s. It might happen to you too, though unlikely. But still, can you deal with all of that? He asked. Issei was silent as he repeated everything he heard in his mind. He looked down as the seriousness of the moment struck him. Naruto was right. This wasn't all fun and games. Naruto sighed and put a hand on his shoulder, getting his attention. Listen, we can't change what's happened, but I promise you, I will help you live long enough to make your dream come true. You wanted to be this harem king, right? To have your own harem? Well, I will help you. That's a promise, and Naruto Diabolus always keeps his promises. Issei smiled at the man softly. Thanks, Naruto. Patting his shoulder, Naruto began leading them toward the academy. Now then, let's find you a contract. Soon the two made it to the old building where Rias and her peerage stayed. Walking inside, Naruto saw Kaneko sitting on the couch, eating a candy bar. He could sense Akino's energy at the kitchen, and Rias was sitting on her desk. I'm back, Bucho. Issei called. Rias looked up and smiled at the brunette, though her eyes narrowed at seeing Naruto, who smirked at her. Ever since she discovered that this mysterious man was a demon hunter and a Nephilim, she was cautious of him. She sent a message to her brother, but has not yet gotten a reply. It made her nervous. A Nephilim's power was not to be underestimated, as not only does he have the power and strength of a devil, but he also has the light and advantage of an angel, a devil's worst enemy. From the rumors and tales she heard and read, Nephilim have the powers of the light, which she didn't know if Naruto was able to conjure. She needed to be careful. Shaking off her thoughts for later, she smiled kindly at Issei, ignoring Naruto's presence. You already passed them out? There were a lot there, she said as she glanced at the corner of the room, where a half-dozen empty boxes laid, once filled with summoned flyers. Issei chuckled as he rubbed the back of his head. If it's to fulfill my dream, then this is nothing, he said as Naruto sat down next to Kaneko. Reaching into his coat, he took out a bag of gummy bears and held it in front of her face. He chuckled as her eyes lit up at seeing the bag, her hands shooting up and taking them. Meanwhile, Akino come out of the built-in kitchen and set a tea set on the table. Upon seeing the man, she placed a kind smile on her face and served the man a cup. He nodded in gratitude. He could detect the nervousness from her, but ignored it. Rias stood up from her chair and walked over to Issei. Okay then, let's move on to the next step, she said, placing a hand on her hip. Issei grinned happily and raised his fists. Great. I've finally graduated from miscellaneous jobs like passing out flyers? Rias nodded. That's right. Now that the contracts are spread around the city, it's time for you to begin forming contracts. For your first time, you'll be doing two. They used to be Kaneko's and Kiba's, but I want you to do them. Think of it as practice. Kaneko bowed slightly to Issei. Thank you for your assistance. Issei bowed back to her. The pleasure's all mine. She looked at her queen. Akino, would you please? The dark-haired fallen/devil bowed slightly. Of course. She walked to the middle of the room, in the spacious side, and raised her hand. In a brightly glow, a large crimson diagram appeared on the floor. Issei watched in amazement at the seal. What is this? Rias smirked at him. Right now, we're engraving your inscription inside the magic diagram. Now you are able to use the Gremory seal, she explained. Naruto watched calmly as another outer circle layer appeared on the diagram. He hummed lightly as he sipped his tea, while scratching the top of Kaneko's head as she ate her gummy bears. He nodded toward Kiba as the blonde entered the room. While the peerage, except for Issei, were cautious around the man, they got slightly used to him appearing in the room. Somewhat. Inscription? Issei asked, confused. The best way to explain it would be to call it the proof of our relationship, after which this magical diagram will become the basis of all the magical powers that you'll be using. It will show that you are my pawn. Give me your palm. Issei blinked before doing as told. Rias grabbed his hand and placed her finger on his palm. Issei gasped as the crest of Gremory appeared on the palm. This mark allows you to utilize the magical diagram to teleport to your summoner. As Issei looked at the seal, Rias turned to Akino. Akino, are you ready? The queen nodded. Hi. You can start anytime. Nodding, the redhead looked at her, pawn. Okay Issei, stand in the middle of the magical diagram. Issei snapped out of his daze and nodded. Hi. Walking toward the seal, he stood over the circle in the middle. He gasped slightly as a tingle went through his spine. What's this? I feel strange. Like I can feel energy spreading through me. Naruto watched silently as they prepared the ritual. Rias spoke up. Alright Issei. This seal will teleport you to where you are summoned. Do you remember what you have to do after you arrive? The brunette nodded. Hi. Make a pact with the summoner and fulfill their wish. And then, in exchange, collect payment. Rias nodded. Correct. Have a safe trip Issei. Naruto hid a smirk as the seal lit up. He just knew what was about to happen. The glowing seal lighted up the room, blocking everyone's sight. When the seal stopped glowing, Issei remained where he stood, in a cool stance. Are you the one who summoned me? Well then tell me your wish. Naruto stiffened a laugh at the oblivious teen. He cleared his throat. Ah yes. I would like 2 boxes of fresh Shark King's pizza, one with pineapples and chicken, the other with meaty toppings. And you want anything Kaneko? He asked the lowly girl. Candy, she said, playing along. Issei opened his eyes and blinked when he saw he was still in the club room. Rias frowned as she stepped forward, as Naruto laughed while Akino chuckled. What a shame. It looks like you still can't make a jump through, Issei gaped. Rias sighed. In order to make the jump through the seal, you must reach a set level of power. Currently your magical power is too low. So the seal isn't activating. Issei's face faulted. He just wasted an awesome entrance. Even so, since there's a summoner, you still have to make a trip. You'll have no choice but to travel by foot. Eh? Issei said in shock as Rias took out a piece of paper from her desk and wrote down the addresses. Kiba chuckled at the situation. Interesting. Well, if you go by bike you can get there in half an hour. Chuckling, Naruto stood up. Walking over, he patted Issei on the shoulder. Don't worry, Gaki. I'll help you out. He looked at Rias. You got the summoner's address, Benheim? He asked. Rias narrowed her eyes at him, before reluctantly holding it out. Smirking, Naruto took it. Thank you. Let's go, kid, he said and dragged Issei behind him out the door. Oh! Don't pull so hard. And what kind of devil shows up in a bicycle after being summoned? The one who doesn't complain a lot. Now come on, Gaki. Rias frowned as the two left. Having Naruto around the clubhouse sometimes worried her. Sure, the guy was nice at times, if a bit of a flirt as he would at times flirt with Akino, Kaneko, and even herself, but knowing that a powerful being was in the room, made her tense. She didn't know if he was just being nice, or he had some hidden agenda for them. Mostly, the man would hang out with Issei and help him with any problems, like a big brother. Or even help them with schoolwork, as his job as a teacher. She just didn't know how to feel about that. Was Naruto only getting closer to them to learn secrets of the Gremory clan? Was he waiting for the teen to drop his guard, before stealing his sacred gear? Was he waiting for them to turn their backs, before cutting off their heads? Or was the white-haired man really just being nice? Arg. She was getting a headache. And it was all because of that strange, mysterious, handsome, muscular. Wait, what? She thought, her cheeks burning slightly. She shook her head. No. I can't think like that. He could be an enemy. Damn you, Naruto. Outside the building, Naruto looked at the address before turning to Issei. Alright, Gaki. I can get us to the location. Issei raised an eyebrow. How? Naruto just smirked at him. Benheim isn't the only one who can teleport. He raised his hand, and Issei gasped when a large seal made of blue flames appeared on the ground. It looked similar to the Gremory seal, except in the center, where an image of a long sword with a hollow circle under the hilt, and 3 curved lines looking like wings on either side of the circle. And DMC, Dante's symbol. Before Issei could say anything, the two vanished in a flash. Before he knew it, they appeared in front of a 2-story building. Huh! Wah! Naruto chuckled at his look, before gesturing to the door. Well, here we are. This is Kiba-san's contract. Snapping out of his daze, Issei walked toward the door and rang the doorbell. According to Kiba, apparently he's almost always summoned by hot women. Issei, though, anxiously. Come on, beautiful girl. To fulfill the wish of a beauty is my wish. Good afternoon, sorry for the wait. I'm a devil, he spoke to the intercom. The door's unlocked, please come in, yo. Issei's shoulders feel when he heard the voice. So deep it's obviously a guy's voice, Neo? He asked as he opened the door. Sorry for intruding, he began, before going completely silent once he beheld the person on the other side. His face turned completely pale. Welcome, Neo. There, standing in front of him, was a large, extremely muscular man in a sailor girl's outfit that was a few sizes too small. He had his hair in pintails, fake wings in his back, and cat ears on the top of his head. I've waited for so long, Neo. Issei was shaking in fear, ready to pee himself. This was the most horrifying thing he had ever seen. Just as bad as reading Yoi. JNS does not discriminate against race, gender, or sexual preferences. Thank you? Why your wish? What the hell's with this person? Cosplay? End sentences with Neo? This is bad. This is very bad. Behind him, Naruto just blinked. He had seen some fucked up shit on his work, so something like this only slightly surprised him. The man reminded him of those undines he saw in the familiar realm. He was probably the only one who doesn't run screaming at the sight of them. Then again, he had met monsters uglier than them. Monsters that would hunt even the strongest of demons' minds for years. At least it isn't a fat, shit-faced old man in a little girl's outfit, asking to be turned into a little girl. Yep, it happened before, and when it did, he happily shot that fucker in the face and balls. With a smile, the large man continued speaking. I want you to turn Miritan into a magical girl, Neo. The now named Mira said. Issei gaped. Miritan? You need to go to a different world. I've been to another world, but no one has the ability to give Miritan magical powers. You actually went? Issei yelled. He was just kidding. At this point, as a last resort, I can't help but make a wish with my enemies, the devils. Enemies? Now Issei was getting scared as he slowly backed up. And why wasn't Naruto helping him? Naruto sat back, eating a bag of popcorn he got somewhere, enjoying the show. Give Miritan, the man muttered. Please give Miritan fantasy powers, Neo! He shouted, getting close to the brunette's face. Ayaha! Issei screamed in horror. I'm going to die. Naruto sighed as he stood up, crumbling his empty bag. It was all fun and games until people start screaming. Then it just gets annoying. Alright, you big babies, shut up, he yelled, getting them to stop yelling and turn to him. He pointed at Miru. You! Big man, 2 steps back. Miru did as told, feeling nervous about Naruto getting closer to him. Now look. Seeing you like this disgusts me. You're a grown-ass man. Not some pimp kid. But we don't argue about your wish, we just grant them. Now we will grant your wish, we will leave, and we will never see each other again. Got it, Miru nodded rapidly, as Issei leaned closer to Naruto. Naruto. I don't know how to turn him into a magical girl. He said low enough that Miru didn't hear him. Naruto waved him off. Don't worry. I've got it. He said before looking at the large man. Alright, listen up you thing. Biorecreation is something that is almost impossible for even devils to do. At least, permanently. At best, I can turn you into a magical girl for no more than 24 hours. Before you are turned back to normal you will take this, and you will like it. He threatened. Miru nodded. It may not be forever, but he will be a magical girl. His dream will come true. Pushing the man inside, Naruto followed, Issei behind him. Looking around the room, he saw it filled with posters of magical girls, much to his disgust, and grabbed a figure off the stand. He then turned to Issei. Alright Gaki, here's what you got to do. Focus on this figure, very hard in your mind. Focus your energy, I'll do the rest. Nodding, Issei grabbed the figure, and holding it tightly, focus on its image and the energy he felt when he first stepped on the teleportation seal. Back then, he felt something surge through him, which was probably his new devil energy. Facing Miru, Naruto told him to close his eyes. As the man did that, the white-haired Nephilim raised his hand up until it was at eye level with the man, while placing his other hand on top of Issei's head. Concentrating, he focused his energy. His hands became wrapped in a light blue flame. His eyes glowed, along with Miru. Suddenly, a smoke covered the man. When the smoke cleared, Miru opened his eyes. Looking down, Miru gasped when he saw his arms, once muscular, now thin and silky. He was now much shorter, standing at 5 feet 4 inches. He quickly ran to the mirror in the room, and gasped when he saw the reflection. His face was now thinner and silky. His eyes wider. Miru was now a girl. With his new female voice, he giggled and jumped around in happiness. Finally! Miru-tan is now a magical girl. I am magical Miru-tan. This was the best day of her life. Is he alright? Issei asked as he looked down at the unconscious body of the male Miru. Naruto shrugged. Of course he's alright. Issei looked at him. Well, what did you do? Again Naruto shrugged. I fulfilled his wish. I placed him in an illusion where he is a magical girl. It'll last for around 24 hours, like I said. Issei raised a brow. Does that even count? He asked. Naruto held up the glowing flyer, which soon stopped glowing. His desire was to be a magical girl. He never said it had to be physical. In his mind, he is one, and his soul knows it. So the contract is completed. He said and gave the flyer to Issei. So, think you can do the last one on your own? Issei nodded as the two exited the house. Saying goodbye to Naruto, Issei ran off to his other contract. Watching him leave with a smirk, Naruto looked up at the sky. It was still early, just barely hitting the sunset. He decided to walk around, maybe sense out some stray demons and monsters. As he walked through the park he felt his phone vibrate. Taking it out, he saw that he had messaged from his peerage as he called them this morning. Be right there. Just need to finish some things. Meta-chan, we'll be there shortly. A.K. Haim, as you wish, Naruto-sama. Mil-chan, on my way. Really missed you. Lu-chan, on my way, boss man. Al, as you wish, Naruto-sama. Wolf-chan, of course, Naruto-sama. K, taking care of business right now. Be there soon. Locke, on my way, Naruto. Light, right, ACH. As you command, my king. Al, yes sir, boss man. Inu, yes sir. Chris, hi. Habanero-chan, a thumbs up. Vixen, nodding at the messages, he put his phone away. He was glad he was going to be reunited with his peerage. It's been a whole year since they split up to cover more business all over the world. He really missed hanging with them, starting fights, and running away from the police. All the moments he hanged with them were special to him. His peerage was special in a way, as he didn't use the Underworld's evil piece set. Instead, he used a whole new set his brother gave him. It was called the Devil Piece set, and what made it different from the former was that while that was imaged after the chess game, his was imaged after the shogi game, and was way different than the evil piece system, with many additions. Why the Devil Piece wasn't commonly used was because it required a tremendous amount of energy to power it. At least near or close to the amount of a Satan class. He was even lucky to be given the set. Oh. Stopping, he looked at where the shout came from. Blinking, he stared at a face full of white panty-wearing ass as a person tripped on the ground. Oh. Why did I fall down? He rose a brow when he heard the feminine voice speak Italian. Sighing, he walked over. Kneeling in front of her, he grabbed the white sheet over her head and pulled it up. He saw it was a young teen, around 14 or 15, with long blonde hair. She blinked at the light, her innocent green eyes looking up at him. Looking closer, he saw that she was wearing a nun outfit. Interesting. He gave the girl a smirk. You okay, sister? He asked in Italian as he helped her up. The girl blinked before smiling up at him. Oh. Thank you very much, she said. Just then, a powerful gust of wind blew, sending her veil flying off, making her gasp. My veil! Before it could get too far, Naruto's arm shot up and grabbed it. Smiling at her, he fixed it back on her head. You should be careful. It would be terrible if such a lovely lady as yourself lost this, he told her, making her smile. When done, he saw that what was most likely her sweet case had its contents spilled all over the ground. Oh my. That's quite the large case, he said as he began helping her picking up her stuff. Oh. Thank you, she said in gratitude, happy to have run into such a nice person. As he picked up the stuff, he spotted church objects, such as a Bible, a cross, and bottles of holy water. But what is a nun doing here? There isn't a church for miles. The only one here is. His eyes widened slightly. The only church in Ko was the abandoned church, which the fallen angels used as their base. He narrowed his eyes, glancing down. He saw a slight glow under the bandages on his right arm. A nun. Fallen angels equals sacred gear. This had warning signs all over it. If the fallen angels, which had slight control a few churches through their stray priests, had this girl transferred all the way here, it must mean that she had a sacred gear that they either had to get rid of fast, or they wanted for themselves. He needed a plan. He kept his face from showing any bad expressions as he continued picking up the girl's stuff. He raised a brow though when he picked up a pair of underwear with a teddy bear on the back. The girl saw him holding her panties, and quickly snatched them, her face turning red in embarrassment. He chuckled sheepishly at her. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have grabbed your snicker teddies. He couldn't help but laugh, increasing her embarrassment. I'm sorry, I shouldn't, mhhh. She covered her red face with her hands. You saw a bad side of me. Naruto just continued to chuckle. Getting his laugh under control, he finished collecting her stuff and putting them in the case. Closing it, he stood up. Holding a hand for her, he helped her up. There we go. Are you okay, sister? He asked, concerned for her. She smiled innocently at him. Yes. Thank you for your help, she said with a light bow as she grabbed her case. Naruto took the time to get a good look at her. She had an innocent air around her, one that makes people think there wasn't a shred of darkness in her. Her blonde hair flowed all the way down her back, with split bangs over her forehead, and a single strand sticking out from under the veil. Her attire was of a dark teal nun outfit with light blue accents, a white veil over her head with light blue accents, a brown satchel slung on her right hip, and brown boots with black straps in an X-shaped pattern. He also saw a silver cross necklace around her neck. Are you traveling? He asked. It was time for questions. She shook her head. No. I was appointed to the church in the city, but I got lost on the way. Warning bells rang in his head. So she was sent here for those fallen angels. But why? Why sent for this innocent girl? He knew they weren't some sharks, waiting for any fresh prey they see. Well, not all of them anyway. He needed to find out what was going on, and fast. He smiled kindly at her. I know where the church is. If you want, I can take you there. She gasped happily, clapping her hands. Really? Thank you so much. This is truly the Lord's will. Smiling kindly, Naruto began leading the way, the girl by his side. I didn't catch your name. I'm Naruto. Naruto Diabolus. She smiled at him. I'm Asia Argento. It's great to meet you, Mr. Diabolus. Naruto waved at her. Now. No need for Mr. Just call me Naruto. While reluctant to address him so casually, as it would be impolite, she nodded. So Asia-san, you from Italy, correct? Given how you speak Italian, Asia nodded. Actually, I just came from America. I just got here. My Japanese is not very good. Whenever I talk to someone, they would ignore me, or look at me strangely. It is quite the miracle I run into someone who speaks Italian like me, she said happily. Naruto smiled at her. Though, the reason he was able to speak Italian was because of his Nephilim ability to understand and speak any language through contact. As the two walked, he placed a small illusion over her, making her think the two were talking as they walked. Slowing down a little, he walked behind her as he took out his phone. Dialing a number, he waited for the person to answer. Naruto. Morrison, listen. I found this girl. Wow, Naruto, never took you for the guy to brag about the girls he bags. Shut up, idiot, and listen. She's a nun. From America. So you get at where I'm heading with this. What is a nun doing in Ko? Especially with all these monsters and hell demons around? She says she was transferred to the church here, but the only church in Ko is. Exactly. I detected a sacred gear in her. What do you want me to do? I'm going to lead her to that abandoned building at the east side of town. The one next to the orphanage. I'll place a low-level illusion on her to make her think it's a church. Fix that place up as much as you can. Need you to act as the father. Get some of your boys to play roles. I need to find out what those black-winged wolves want with her. In the meantime, find out everything you can about Asia Argento. Right. I'll have everything set in an hour. Hanging up, he continued to lead the young girl. So, how was your first experience in Japan? he asked, to stall for time. Asia smiled softly. It was quite interesting but different. I didn't understand what anyone was saying, or could read the words. I was lost. Didn't anyone come get you, or a helper to come with you? She shook her head. He frowned. That's not right. What kind of idiots leave a cute girl like you by herself? A true gentleman should not hesitate to help a sweet girl like you. Asia blushed at being called cute. Oh well. I'm your friend now. So if you ever need my help, just call or come to me, and I'll be there, he said as he handed her his card. Luckily he used his magic to change the language to English in her eyes. Asia took the card gratefully, hugging it to her chest, a large smile on her face. Thank you so much, Naruto. May the Lord bless you for years to come for your assistance. He just smiled at her. Just then, the two heard a cry. Looking over, they saw a young boy on the ground crying, holding his knee where a scrape was seen. Asia walked toward him. Hey, she said, getting the boy's attention. Are you okay? A boy shouldn't be crying over little things like this. The boy blinked at her, not understanding what she was saying. Naruto followed her in curiosity, wondering what she was going to do. Asia raised her hands and hovered them over the cut. She closed her eyes, and to Naruto's surprise, her hands began to glow light green. Naruto and the boy watched in amazement as the cut began to rapidly heal. Looking down, he saw the glow in his arm increase a bit. He quickly hid it behind his back. What is that energy? It's almost holy, but at the same time, something different. In seconds, the scrape was gone. The glow vanished, and Asia smiled gently at the boy, ruffling his head. There we go. She then stood up, looking at Naruto as if just realizing he was there. She bowed slightly, sticking her tongue out and bumping her head. I'm sorry, I just instinctively helped him. Naruto waved her off. Ma. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad the kid's safe. Just then, the kid's mother came and dragged him away, shooting Asia a cautious look. The girl looked down sadly at the look, while Naruto glared at the woman, shooting her spike of his killer intent, scaring her as she quickly left with her son. But before they left, the boy shouted out at Asia. Thank you, One-chan. Asia tilted her head in confusion, as Naruto smiled at her. He said thank you, sister, he translated, making Asia smile. So that energy, the nun smiled happily. It's my power of healing. It's an amazing power granted to me by God. He smiled at her happiness. Strange, he's been smiling a lot around this girl. Well, it sure was something. He looked at her. Forgive me if I'm rude, but are you alright? She asked as she pointed to his bandaged arm. Looking at it, he raised it. Oh, this? It's nothing. It's just badly burned after an accident. It doesn't hurt anymore, he said. If you want, I can heal it with my power, she suggested, but Naruto shook his head. That's alright. The damage is quite gruesome. I don't want to scare you away, he said with a chuckle. Besides, I like to keep it as a memory. Asia tilted her head. Memory? Naruto nodded. Yep. It was a huge fire, and my friends were in the middle. I tried hard to save them. Even if my arm was damaged, I would gladly do it again if it meant protecting my precious people. He told a lie. The real reason was much more horrific, an event neither he or his peerage would ever forget. Precious people? Right. To me, a person truly becomes stronger when they are fighting for their precious people. The ones they hold closest to their hearts. Asia smiled sadly, a look of longing in her eyes. The ones you hold closest to your heart. She muttered sadly. Hi. You see, I'm an orphan, he admitted, shocking Asia. I never knew my true parents, and my adopted father is gone. To me, having people I care about fills the void in my heart. They keep me going. He smiled as he looked up at the sky, the images of his adoptive father and his peerage passing through his head. I would fight an army if it meant keeping my precious people safe. He looked at Asia and smiled at her. Her cheeks burned when she saw his smile, feeling his happiness and friendship shining through it. I can see the loneliness in your eyes, Asia-chan. I don't like it. I hate seeing one of my precious persons sad or hurt, the nun gasped. He thought of her as one of his precious persons? But he didn't even know her that well. She was about to say something, when Naruto placed his hand on the top of her head. We may not know each other that long, but we talked, we laughed, and we gave our names. That's good enough for me. So if you ever need me, I'm there, he told her. Asia's eyes grew tearful. She never had anyone who thought of her as their precious person. To know this man, who just met her today, considered her one, it made her happy. She smiled widely as a tear came down her cheek, which Naruto wiped off, making her blush as he walked her off. He made sure she didn't see the church building on the far distance. As the two walked, he placed an illusion on her to not let her know that they were just walking aimlessly around town for an hour. Soon after an hour, but only 20 minutes to Asia, the two stopped at an old building. However, in Asia's eyes it was clean and freshly painted. Naruto felt guilty he was tricking his new friend, but it was necessary. He was protecting her life from the fallen angels. Well, here we are, Asia gasped happily and clapped her hands. This is it. I'm so glad. Just then, the door opened, and a man stepped out. He had short sandy blonde hair and a mustache, dark brown eyes, and wore a priest outfit. He smiled when he saw the two. "Ah, Sister Asia. Welcome to Japan. We've been expecting you," the man said in Italian. "I am Father Morrison." Asia bowed in greetings. Hello, Father. Thank you for having me here." Morrison chuckled. "Think nothing of it, my dear. Please come in," he said, moving to go back inside. He swiftly nodded at Naruto, who nodded back, Asia none the wiser. Naruto turned to leave. "Well, I should be going." The nun quickly turned to him before he could go. "Eh? Please wait," she called, making him stop and look at her in confusion. She nervously pressed her fingers together. You've taken me all the way here. I'd like to repay you with some tea as a token of gratitude." Smiling at her, the hybrid waved her off. Ma. It's all right. I'm glad to have helped you. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy at the moment. I have a show to perform," he said, pointing to his case. "Oh? Well, if it's all right, maybe I could come?" she asked nervously. Naruto gave her an apologetic smile. "Sorry, but it's only for adults. Maybe one day we could just hang out. You have my card, so call me when you like." Suddenly, he felt a familiar pulse of energy. A fallen angel. Glancing at the corner of his eyes, he looked at the direction the energy came from. Focusing, he bit back a curse when he sensed Issei's energy. Not only that, but he sensed two fallen angels. The Gaki's in trouble. He looked at the nun. "I have to go before I'm late. I promise to visit you soon, Asia-chan." With that, he ran off. Standing at the steps of the church, Asia watched Naruto leave. She smiled faintly. "Bye, Naruto-kun," she muttered before she went inside. Earlier with Issei, Issei grumbled as he made his way home. After he and Naruto separated, the brunette went to his next contract. It was a man who was a lilicon, as he would dress Kaneko in cosplay outfits when he summons her. The two soon got in a huge fight over who was the biggest Drag So Ball fan. They were so into it that Issei forgot to complete the contract. "Man. Bucho's going to lecture me on not fulfilling the contract. And what about Naruto? I let him down," he said sadly. Sighing, he continued walking the empty streets. Suddenly, he stopped, as a shiver went up his spine. What was that?" he asked. He didn't know why, but he felt a sense of doom hit him. It was more powerful than the sense he gets before girls at school beat him up. His body twitched, like it tried as hard as it could to run away, but was stuck. His heart began beat loudly against his chest. What is this irritating feelings? Just then, he could hear the sounds of footsteps. Turning around, Issei saw a figure walking out of the shadows. How unfortunate, the figure spoke. To be bumping into someone like yourself in a place like this. The person was a middle-aged man with short black hair and dark blue eyes. He wore a dark-colored trench coat over a white dress shirt, with a matching ascot, black pants and shoes, and a black fedora. A bead of sweat dripped down Issei's face. He took a step back from this strange man. "What is this energy? It's making my body shake," the man chuckled darkly. "Trying to run away? It is hopeless, little devil. Tell me, who is your master? What? Or could it be that you are a stray?" Suddenly, dark-colored, pitch-black wings shot out of the man's back, making Issei gasp. "Those wings! They are like Yuma's. This man's a fallen angel." The man smirked wickedly at the frightened devil. "I do not sense your master near us. Too bad, guess I must settle with killing one." He held out his hand, and a blue spear of light appeared. Issei gulped at seeing the spear. He could just feel the tainted holy energy coming off it, making his hairs stand on end. He quickly turned and began running as fast as he could. The man chuckled at seeing his prey run. Issei ran as fast and as far away from that man as he could. He couldn't take him on. He wasn't a fighter like Naruto, and he didn't have anything special like a sword or guns. "I've got to get out of here. I need to find Naruto or Bucho," he thought frantically. Suddenly, he was halted in his steps as a yellow light spear pierced his path. Looking up, he saw a tall woman with long, navy blue hair and brown eyes. She had a violet, trench coat top with a wide collar, a matching miniskirt, and black-heeled shoes. The trench coat top was open at her chest, giving view to her breasts and cleavage. Normally, he would ogle the cleavage, but the thing that caught his attention were the black wings behind her. "And where do you think you are going, little devil?" He took a step back as she approached him. Looking over his shoulder, he saw the man behind him. "You are trapped. There is no change. It's time for you to die," the man said. Issei gulped as his body trembled. There was no escape. He was going to die. The woman summoned another spear and threw it at him. Issei managed to dodge at the last seconds, but was still nicked at the shoulder. As he dodged, the crest on his hand glowed. The two fallen angels gasped when they saw it. "The mark of the Gremory clan?" the woman questioned. Issei landed on the ground, but quickly stood up. "I can't fight. I'm trapped. Am I going to die again?" "So you are a servant of the Gremory house," the man stated as he summoned his light spear. He floated up into the air, hovering over the pawn. You damn devils disgust me. The woman followed his lead, flying up. For a puny devil to be wandering the streets, as if you have a purpose. You have an even greater cause to be terminated. As one, the two launched their spears at the scared Issei. They're going to kill me. And Naruto isn't here. I need to protect myself. I need power. Power to defeat them. As time seemed to be moving slower, his left arm pulsed. Power. Imagine the strongest image you can muster, and strike a pose that makes you feel like you could draw out a strong power from within. Rias told him, I need power. That's Saramago Takaru. The strongest man in the entire world. Issei said strongly to Morisawa, Kaniko's client, I need more power. Stopping as well, Naruto looked at him, his expression serious. Listen, kid. Being a devil isn't all fun and games, and getting girls. Devils and other demons have many enemies. Angels, churches, fallen angels, even some humans. You will have many enemies that will seek for your death just because you are a devil. Can you deal with all of that? He asked. I need power. Suddenly, his arm glowed in a burst of green energy. A large surge of power bursted out of him, pushing the two back, and disintegrating the spears. When Issei opened his eyes, he gasped at what was now on his hand. It looked like a crimson armored bracer with yellow-like horns on the sides and an emerald gem on the top. His fingers were uncovered. Wow! Is this my sacred gear? He asked himself as he looked at the gauntlet, which seemed to pulse. The two fallen angels grunted as they stood up. A sacred gear? This is bad. Danasik. We should retreat and report back to the esteemed one. The now named Danasik ignored her, and glared at the surprised Issei. Shut up, Calawarner. Retreating is for cowards. I will not be a coward. I will tear off his arm and bring it back as a trophy. He made a spear and threw it at the teen. Issei was too shocked at seeing his sacred gear that he didn't have time to move out of the way. Bang! Bang! The light spear shattered as bullets pierced through it. The three turned and Issei sighed in relief as Naruto walked toward them. He aimed Lilith at the fallen angels as he walked to Issei. 2 against 1? You fallen angels have a sixth sense fair play, and it's beginning to piss me off. You okay, kid? He asked the brunette, before seeing the gauntlet. Nice armor. Let me guess, that's your sacred gear? Issei nodded. Yeah, HM. A twice critical. I expected something more. But what is that strange energy I'm reading? It feels powerful and alive, the hunter thought as he looked at the gem, before turning his attention to the two dark angels. Who the hell are you? Another pathetic devil? The woman asked. Naruto smirked at him, and gave a light bow. Greeting, O mighty dark feathered chicken. I am Naruto Diabolus, a demon hunter. And I'm afraid you are attacking my little student here. Shocking Issei at the title, Danasik rose a brow at him. A demon hunter? What is a hunter doing protecting a devil? Naruto chuckled. Now that is none of your business. Now I suggest you two leave, or things are going to get ugly. He warned as he set his case on the ground beside him. Calawarner scoffed, and made a light spear. Don't joke with us, human. She shouted and charged at him, her wings spread. Naruto frowned and aimed Lilith at her. He fired a few shots, which she dodged. Leaning forward, he charged at her, holding his hand out. Rebellion! In a flash, his broadsword appeared. Leaping up, he clashed with the female in the middle. The two struggled in power as they tried to push the other back. Snapping his leg up, he kicked her backwards. Landing, he moved his blade to the side, blocking a thrown spear from Danasik. Aiming his gun, he fired shots at him, making the older man leap back. Calawarner got up and charged at him again, this time with 2 spears. Naruto pushed off the ground and backpedaled backwards, using Rebellion to block her stabs. Their arms were a blur as they either stabbed and swiped or blocked. Pushing a spear to the side, he aimed his gun at Calawarner's chest at point blank. Pulling back on the trigger, the fallen angel barely leaned her body backwards fast enough, as the bullet pierced through her shoulder. Gah! She screamed as he kicked her in the face, sending her backwards. Landing in the ground, he barely heard Issei shout. Naruto! Look out! I've got you! Danasik yelled as he appeared in Naruto's side, ready to stab him with his spear. Naruto cursed and lifted his right arm up. Time seemed to move slower as the spear neared him. It was inches away, when it clashed with a small lock on the chain around the arm. Clang! The street was silent, all the individuals holding their breaths, when a large pulse of energy shot outwards, spreading through the town. Danasik was pushed back all the way to the wall, as the lock began cracking. It soon shattered to pieces. Under the bandages, the arm glowed brightly, catching everyone's attention. Naruto? Issei asked, worried for his friends. The white-haired man looked down at the arm, scowling. Damn it! Do you have any idea how much those holy locks cost? He yelled at the fallen angel. Sighing, he grabbed the chains and took them off. He then began to unwrap the arm. Oh well. Guess I must reveal the trick up my sleeve. He muttered as the bandage fell to the ground, allowing everyone to see his arm. It looked demonic in appearance. Where there used to be flesh, was now an organic armor. It looked to be cracked from the elbow to the back of the hand, which glowed with blue energy. The fingers and palm were also glowing blue. Issei was shocked at the arm's appearance as Naruto flexed his fingers. And Naruto? What is that? Is that a sacred gear? He asked. HM? The man asked, looking at him. He looked back at his arm as he raised it. This? Well, Gaki, meet the Devil Bringer. Don't ask how I've got it. Damn thing can drive me crazy, he said as he shook his hand. He then turned back to the fallen angels, dusting off his hands. Issei, he called, getting the teen's attention. Can I trust you and that fancy tool of yours to watch my back? He asked as he rested Rebellion on his left shoulder. Huh? The brunette asked, looking down at his SG blinking. He shook his head. Oh, of course, he declared, running to Naruto's side. The man nodded. Good, because here they come, he said as the F.A charged at the two. Play Devil May Cry 3, Taste the Blood. Naruto fired a barrage of bullets at the two opponents, however they merely maneuvered out of the way. Grabbing Rebellion, he charged at them. Getting close, he slashed at them, clashing with Calwarner. On the corner of his eyes he saw Donasek charge at Issei. Grunting, he pulled back his right arm and punched Calwarner across the face. She yelled as the strength of the punch broke her nose as she was sent back. Turning around, he raised his sword in the air and stabbed down hard into the ground. Grunting, he pulled backwards, breaking a large chunk of the ground. Grabbing it, he threw the piece as hard as he could at the F.A. The piece shot like a bullet at blinking speed and slammed into his back. Aha! Donasek yelled as he crashed to the ground. Issei! Naruto called at him. My case. Grab something, he told him as he moved at Calwarner. Issei blinked in confusion, before looking at the large case on his side. Moving to it, he opened it up, and gasped at all the weapons inside. What is this? He questioned, before he saw Donasek charge at him once more. He quickly grabbed the handle of a sword he saw, and held it in front of him. The man impacted him hard, clashing his spear against the blade. Issei gritted his teeth as he tried to keep his hold on the sword. Pathetic, you don't even know how to use a sword. Give up, kid. You're done. Issei glared at him. No, I'm not, he yelled as the jewel on the gauntlet glowed brightly. Issei felt power spread through him as his devil wings bursted out of his back. Donasek grunted as he was pushed back at the unexpected strength increase. He gasped as the human/devil charged at him, slashing his blade upward. Using his spear, he countered and pushed it to the side. He was about to punch at the teen, but Issei beat him to it as his first came up and punched him up at the chin. His eyes seemed to glow in the darkness of the night as the teen spread his wings and followed him up in the air. His consciousness was dazed as his devil instincts took over. Donasek snapped out of his shock, dazed, anger replacing it. He was not about to be beaten by a devil, especially a weak one. Spreading his wings, he halted in the air and brought up his spear. He blocked the teen's sword strike. He kicked him on the side, sending his flying. He then threw it after him. Issei picked himself up, but gasped as the spear pierced through him at the stomach. He coughed up blood as he fell to the ground. Naruto slashed down at Calwarner, who moved out of the way in time. She quickly slashed at him with her spear, but he blocked the stab by raising his devil bringer, a clanging noise sounding as the tip struck the steel-hard armor. Grabbing the spear with his blue hand, he used his super strength to lift her up, much to her shock, and turning around, threw her over his shoulder. Calwarner grunted as she skidded and rolled across the ground before stopping. She glared at Naruto as she stood up. Said man merely smirked at her. What's wrong? Don't tell me you're getting tired, he taunted. Growling at him, she threw her spear at him, before charging after. Stabbing Rebellion into the ground, Naruto took out Iafil and Lilith. Aiming both his guns, he fired a storm of bullets at the spear, shattering it. As Calwarner neared him, he kicked his sword up from the ground. With it spinning in the air, he kicked it at the handle, shooting it forward like a spear at her. Gasping at the incoming blade, Calwarner quickly moved out of the way, the swords passing just inches away from her chest. However, it was merely a diversion as Naruto appeared over her. She didn't even have the time to gasp as he reared his demonic arm back. It glowed with energy, as suddenly, a slightly bigger spectral copy of the arm appeared next to it. With a yell, he slammed both arms into her chest, slamming her hard into the ground, making a large crater as she coughed up blood. She was in so much pain, she shouldn't even scream as her ribs were broken. She was sure one of piercing her liver. Her body twitched as she tried to move, but it was not to be. Naruto stood over her, the glow in his arm vanishing. Reaching down, he grabbed Calwarner by her neck and pulled her close to him. She tried to speak as the grip around her neck tightened. Now, he said, making her open her eyes. He glared at her, his violet eyes glowing. I have some questions, and you will answer them, he growled. He about to begin interrogating her, when he had to jump out of the way as a light spear passed him. Growling in anger, he turned his head and saw Donasek. Scowling, he was ready to get rid of the man, when he saw Issei pierced by a spear. Growling, he jumped back to where Rebellion was stabbed into a wall, and got it out. Putting it on his back, he aimed his guns at the two and fired a nearly infinite amount of bullets. Donasek quickly grabbed Calwarner, and flew out of the way. Naruto fired after them, but they soon vanished. Scowling at losing his answers, he put it out of his mind for now. Sheathing his guns, he looked at the nearly unconscious Issei and ran to him. Grabbing the spear, the energy weapon was absorbed into his devil bringer. Looking at the hole in his stomach, he quickly ran and grabbed his case. Moving the weapons to the side, he grabbed a small chest. Moving to Issei's side, he opened the chest. Inside were several small orbs shaped like skulls of different colors. He grabbed a green skull, then slowly closed it around his hand, until it began to crack. He then put it on the teen's wound and crushed it, spraying the green dust into the hole. He watched as the wound glowed green and began to close. Good thing I have these hell orbs. Their power can even bypass even holy energy. Soon the wound was gone, making him sigh in relief. He looked at the gauntlet, and watched it vanish. Kid, I'm beginning to think this will be a regular thing with you, he said before he lifted Issei over his shoulder. Grabbing his case, he snapped his fingers, making his seal appeared under him. In a flash, he vanished, teleporting to the kid's house for some rest. Just another regular night for him. What if Naruto is able to wield Yamato High School DxD? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel. And leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.